Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, and this is
BABERUTHLESS.
And welcome to the next episode of Gone with the Wind, our podcast where we're going to be covering the Hunter x Hunter anime 2011 version, and we're just going to be going through, well, basically the whole show. And in this episode, we'll be going through episodes 27 through 32. And of course, we ramble, we go off topic. That's what we're going to do. That's kind of the brand at this point. And on that note, exactly. So, Lord BR, this is a Fighting Game Aligned podcast. And we did record last week that CEO was going on. And now CEO is concluded. And, well, you were there. So, what tales do you have from the lands of Florida?
I was there. I just got back a couple of days ago at the point where we're recording this podcast. Florida was great. Honestly, I've been gone from my own house for almost 2 weeks. So I'm very glad to be back and actually recording in my own office.
Yes, we did not record. We recorded from a hotel last time.
Yeah, and I know at some point the video was kind of going in and out, so I'm glad. Hopefully that doesn't happen here. But yeah, CEO was great. So I just came back from the FGC Coliseum, right? And then I was going into CEO, and CEO was my first ever CEO, and it was the first time I was at this brand new venue, and people were absolutely loving the venue. It's called the Rosen Shingle Creek. It's very close to where all the theme parks are in Orlando.
Yes, I heard good things about that. I've only been CEO once, and it was I have the old badge right there actually, which it's gonna knock everything. I was there 2019. That was when it was in Daytona.
Yeah,
and
I've heard stories.
That was the first time I ever saw like you see on the TV American style racism in public, where people were just shouting slurs at each other in the open. And that was, as a humble Canadian boy, that was quite the eye-opener before I got to the venue. And also the fact that there was a tattoo shop, gun store, tattoo shop, gun store, tattoo shop, gun store in successive order. So now CEO is in a much better place.
It is, although I still saw advertisements for a gun show that was happening later that month. So that was interesting.
I think that's just Florida branding.
Yeah, I don't live in the South, so it was just interesting to see because it's not something that I ever see where I live. But yeah, CEO was great. The venue was awesome. Really, really nice venue. There were 4 different pools that I did get to try out on one of the nights. Then there was basically the main room.
I was about to say here, the different pools. So there was no drowning in pools in those pools.
Well, after you drowned in pools, you went to the pool.
Yeah, because that'd be a much sadder story, right?
Yes, no, for sure. Speaking of pools, I didn't get out of pools, but I did better than I thought I was gonna do.
Hey, that's good.
I made it past the first round 2-0, and then literally the second round, I think they what is it called? Stream sniped me. I think they stream sniped me because somebody and I don't want to be oh yeah, everyone knows who I am or whatever. I don't think that. But why the hell would they specifically pick my match in round 2 of Tekken Pools to go out on stream? Seems a little suspicious. My opponent was another girl, and she was a lead player. She was I think she was of some repute, so maybe that was part of the reason why we were chosen to go on stream. But
to be brutally honest, if not FGC is very welcoming to the ladies, we're glad to have you here, but having 2 women play against each other is definitely probably a stream worthy event. It is a rarer occurrence.
Yeah.
So maybe that might be why.
I don't know. I don't know what the reasons were. Actually, my first opponent in the first round was also a woman. Okay. So I don't know.
Which game are you playing right now? Tekken. Okay, so yeah, there you go. Tekken very friendly to the ladies.
Yes, it is very friendly. But anyways, so
may I ask, who are you playing right now?
Oh, I'm playing Asuka right now.
Oh, so are you part of the drama? Are you abusing her rage art?
No, I mean, like, honestly, I don't feel like I'm at the level of play where it's like I'm trying to cheese the game, right? Right now, I'm just trying to get my fundamentals down and actually learn some fucking combos and put those together and know when to appropriately use them. So I wouldn't consider myself part of the drama at all.
There's
I'm just
always drama in
playing.
Tekken, but I feel that
Yeah,
now that
especially
they're obviously had the famous patch
yes.
and a lot of complaining, then there's another patch, a lot of, and just I noticed in recent times now, Asuka's the new villain because of our rage, which has been the same rage art since like the game launched because it's holdable,
Yeah, no,
right?
I don't. Yeah, you can hold it,
And
and
it's never not
so
been that.
right, and then if they attack you while you're holding it, it'll go right,
Yeah.
and then you can't be grabbed out of it. Like she'll if you touch her while she's holding it, like she'll pummel right through you.
Yeah,
So it's great,
and you
I
can
love
delay it, and it's hard to sidestep. And I don't know, it feels a little late in the game now. This is the villain, considering it's been that way. But I digress.
It's always some new villain. Honestly speaking, like from a like matchup standpoint of like who's best in the meta, who's worse, yada yada. Like again, it's not something that I particularly pay attention to. It's more so like I need to fucking learn how to play my own character, being Asuka, which I still have a couple of bad habits that I'm still trying to unlearn. But anyways, all that being said, it was really funny because like I took a picture from my stream and I put it on my Twitter or whatever just to it was fine. Like it wasn't a good photo of me. I'm like kind of like slumping over, wearing my glasses. This is 10 a.m. pools. I did not want to be there. I was drinking the night before. And I posted it on Twitter, and people like the hell out of that particular photo. And I was just like, what about all the the
Hey,
tweets
sometimes
about
it's
videos
the right
or, like,
picture. Like I think it was also at CEO, Daigo looking quite drunk and disheveled, right? Not his best look, and yet somehow that has been skyrocketing.
I mean, that one I understand because I mean, it's kind of fucking hilarious. That's why people love that photo. Yeah, I think there were two in particular people really liked. One of them, he's just like kind of standing there and just looking really tired, and I guess some guy took a photo with him. And the other one's like with Jabali, and he's like, sticking the tongue out, and he's
Yeah, he's like,
out the double peace signs, and it's just like. I don't want to say anything about Dio because I don't know the context about when that photo was taken, but I'm assuming he was drinking.
He's the FGC's uncle. Like regardless, like doesn't matter what game you play. You could be a Skullgirls player. You could play Asuka 127 Burning Spirit or whatever, or Street Fighter, whatever. He is all of our uncle. Like
he's that big unk energy for sure.
And it sucks now I'm getting older. I'm getting called that a lot lately too, and I don't know how that feels with me.
Do you have gray hair?
Maybe this one right here?
Yeah, I think as long as you don't have like significantly graying hair, I don't know if it qualifies as unk status quite yet.
There we go. As long as my genetics hold, despite my actual age, I'll pass by like, oh kid, I'm a Zoomer just like you. Let's go.
Just drinking Monster, you know?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I drink the Monster just like the kids. Like, there we go.
When I was like 16, I feel like if someone told me like, oh, like I'm 30 years old, I'd be like, oh God, like they're ancient history. They're done.
Yeah.
They're donezo, And now like I'm approaching that age myself and I'm just like, yeah, I feel like pretty much the same.
For me in a fighting game context, like I'll see people like Sako or Itabashi Zangief, and they're closer to 50 than they are to 40. And they're still winning tournaments all the time, right? So I see that, and I'm like, there's no aging out in the FGC. Like, of all, I hate the term, but all esports, we are by far the widest age range. Like, by a mile. Like, I always remember the day it blew my mind when I found out what the senior league in Counter-Strike is.
What's the senior league?
25 and up.
What?
Is the senior league.
Okay. Well...
And you will never find an esport where it's just as common to see a 16-year-old fighting a 40-year-old as you will in fighting games. Hell, CEO, we had like 5 or 6 matchups of a 16-year-old versus a 40-plus-year-old, right?
Yeah, it was like literally like Daigo versus like, I forget the guy's name, but like some of the South American players.
Oh, was it Blaz or the other one? I can't remember his name.
Might have been Blaz.
It wasn't Blaz. Because I remember I had a bone to pick with this young gentleman. Because he was picking the light blue Ryu skin, which is the not Super Turbo, but the Super Nintendo version of Street Fighter 2 Turbo, that color Ryu. And that color Ryu belongs to old people. If you didn't play that on Super Nintendo, you don't get to pick that Ryu. That's not for you.
I don't know if you can claim that for yourself.
Oh, I'll claim it. That's
put it in the game.
You can tell, like, up until this young gentleman, you can always tell a Ryu's player's age by what color skin they picked. If they're light blue Ryu or black Ryu with the yellow headband, they're at least 35.
I gotta start paying attention to this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the meta. But yeah, CEO was great. Anyways, and then one other thing I did that weekend was like oh my god, why am I blanking out? It was like the exhibition match for Fatal Fury.
Oh, yes. Was it at the CEO venue or?
Yes, at the CEO venue.
Okay.
Oh my god, why am I blanking on the name? Anyways, it was the exhibition match for City of the Wolves or whatever, and I don't want to say dragged into it, but like my name was put into the hat to be in.
I did see a clip of you up against one Lord Jabali.
Yes, yeah. and it's funny because it's like I don't know. Part of me is like I want to set people's expectations. Like part of me is like, man, I should come in there like super confident about my skills and like just go in and have a good time. But like the other part of me is like, well, I also like didn't really have much experience with this game. Like I played it a long time ago in like a different sort of mini exhibition tournament online. Then I hadn't played it for literally months. So literally like 30 minutes before this thing was set to go at 8 p.m., I was like, tell me who to pick. And like people were just like, just pick Hotaru. So I was like,
that's not bad advice.
So anyways, I was trying, but it's like, you know, I didn't know anything about the game. But anyways,
no, that's fair. I've also been, well, victim's a very strong word, but like I've been thrown into a surprise exhibition or two in my time where I'm like, right. I haven't played this game in months. What are you talking about? I'm going to be on stream. Like, right.
It was literally one of those situations where they're like, okay, like, you know, you're going up. And I'm like, all right, well, time to learn the game like right now. So I like...
Hey, that's the easiest thing to learn when everyone's watching you and judging you, right?
Exactly. Well, okay, to be fair, I don't feel like people were like, oh yeah, like she's going to be up there executing. Like, I don't think that's part of my brand. I don't want to like...
If you played anything less than Xiaohai ability, you're going to get shamed.
All right, well, it's fucking over for me. It's been over for me for a long time because, like, I've never gone out of pools at a single tournament, but I still enter anyways, just to...
No, it's good to go there. It's good to have fun, right? It's part of the experience. I've, I remember just last time I was in Florida was for Holiday Matsuri, and I was there, and there was a Virtua Fighter tournament there.
Oh,
and I have not, at that point, played Virtua Fighter in quite some time. I'm a big fan, but I've been in practice for a good while, right? And you know, like, I'm going to go and enter, and I got my head kicked in. Specifically, shout out to Lord Volcano Shed. I got my head kicked in because, like, I was not in practice, but I still went. I had fun, right? And sometimes, even if your results aren't going to be the best, that's what you got to do.
I mean, and to be fair, like, a lot of times when you go to, like, non-fighting game tournaments, like, your results are usually better than if you went to, like, a fighting game tournament, because it's like, you know, the people there usually aren't as hardcore about...
Well, it was also technically, I should say, it was CEO Taku as well.
Oh, that's right. That happened last year.
Technically, Holiday Matsuri and CEO Taku were, like, the same thing-ish. But I was there as a guest of Holiday Matsuri, not CEO Taku, so I gotta respect the branding of the person who paid for my hotel. Thank you, Jeff.
Fair enough. But, yeah, no, like, if you ever go to, like, MagFest or something like that, and you, like, enter the tournament, it's like, you know, like, I'm not saying I'm getting first or anything like that, but I'm doing pretty well in that tournament compared.
Oh, yeah, I remember, like, years ago, I would go to, like, Fan Expo to scam Street Fighter 4 tournaments.
Yeah, like if there's like...
Competition wasn't as high. It wasn't exactly... There was actually some surprisingly good people, I'm not going to lie. But overall, it was, you know, convention goers. People there to have fun. People there who didn't waste their life on this, you know? Like,
that's fair. Yeah, I every year, me and my friends, we try to enter some dumb tournament at MagFest, just like some game that like, because a lot of my friends, they don't even play fighting games. They're not into them. So we just enter like some general tournament that people are going to have fun with. And so like we picked a couple of fighting games. Like last year we did Sonic the Fighters, but we also did Bushido Blade.
Hey, I love me some Bushido Blade, yeah.
Bushido Blade, and that people love that one. They
always pick Hammer. Always pick Hammer.
Oh, okay, got it. Wait, is he in Bushido Blade 1 or 2?
Well, you could pick your character separate from your weapon, I guess.
Right, yes.
But because Hammer...
okay, you're saying Hammer is the weapon.
Yeah, because if you block too many times, even against a Hammer, it's still going to break your arm. Because you can't block a Hammer too good.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. I just always pick the katana, and I just always stay away from like the really long weapon because it's very unwieldy. It's like hard.
Well, then you got Bushido Blade 2, where you can pick the assault rifle.
The gun.
Yeah,
the gun.
Which is a very different meta.
Yes, I don't think they would allow that in tournaments.
No, so against the spirit.
Yeah, no. But anyways, back to the exhibition match. So I did that exhibition match. Literally, I didn't know what to do on stage, so like tried to do Terry's Buster Wolf. I didn't even remember what it looked like, but I just kind of like mimed it on stage or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I went on stage, and it was really cool actually. The ring is really dope. But then I like, had a genius idea, spur of the moment. I was like, oh, okay. So I took off my hat. It was the Fatal Cutie hat.
Yeah.
The Heroines collection. Yeah. And I like plopped it out in Jabali's head. Just like a just a cute little moment just to fuck with him a little bit. But
no, that was good. You were on brand. You had the merchandise ready.
I did. I was ready to go. But yeah, no. So, I mean, those were mostly what I was up to at CEO. Otherwise, mostly just like hanging with people, competing, doing the podcast the day before.
Yep.
But yeah, overall it was an amazing tournament. Like I would gladly go again next year. Like Jabali did an amazing job putting it together.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but glowing things.
10 out of 10 experience, truly. It was awesome.
No, that's great. Like I'll try to go next year. I don't know. It's always a money thing, right? The YouTubers don't get sponsored like the players do, right? So it's all out of pocket for me. And I am going to EVO. So like that's going to cost me a lot of money. I looked at my credit card. I did my credit card stuff the other day, right? And I'm looking at like all the because it's a train to Toronto, then it's the flight, then it's the hotels, and and also turns out EVO registration fee this year, quite a bit higher than it's been in the past. And I didn't get this desperation 50% coupon they put out in the last week or whatever. I had to pay full price. Yeah, they just like
giving you that coupon code.
Yeah, no, they were just like, oh, by the way, 50% off coupon because like tickets like $300 Canadian or some shit. So, but yeah, so that's why I don't like. If money was an object, I'd be at every tournament. It's like people ask me, "Are you going to EVO France?" I'm like, I'd love to. I can't afford it.
Right. Nah, that's fair. And Vegas itself is quite expensive. Like Orlando is not expensive, but it's not a cheap place either. It's very much like a tourist.
Well, I feel lucky that I got a hotel in Vegas under $100 American a night. That's like not too far from the venue. So like to me, I'm like, okay, that's a win at least, right? Mm-hmm. And also it'll be a reprieve from the heat. Because yes, I am in Canada. Oh, Canada is a cold place. Canadians have the cold. No. Trust me, other than maybe if you're in Florida, there's nowhere in the States hotter than where I live. And we're about to have record humidity this year. Because that's the fun part is, because I live right on the river, we are super high humidity. We will get to 100% humidity.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, like last year, Vegas, EVO was the record heat wave weekend, like all-time history, right? And I get there.
I barely went outside.
Yeah, and I got there, and I'm like, okay, this is definitely hot. Because it was like 50 Celsius or something, right?
Right.
But it's hot with no humidity. So it's just like, I'm feeling on my skin. I'm like, that's definitely warm. It's definitely hot.
Right, but you're not like sweating unless you're really walking outside.
Versus my place, you literally go out the door, stand still for 1 to 10 seconds, and you're sweating already. Because that's what the humidity is.
I hate the humidity. Like that is like I could never live in Florida, could never live in the South just because it's disgusting to me.
Like I told you just for the podcast, right? The city I live in is one of like the first settled cities in North America, right? It's an old city, old city, right? And the whole reason the settlers came here is because of the humidity. It was so hot, the crops grow awesome here. Like I live all around farmland. So it's great for the crops, not so much great for the people living here.
Yeah, no.
And every year it gets hotter and hotter and hotter because we got the old global warming. And
and wildfires and...
it's off camera, but over there in my Amazon box pile I haven't opened yet, I got a humidifier that's going to be in the same... like. There's the AC right there, right?
Yeah.
And I got a new AC so it wouldn't be so loud to not pick up on the microphone. But so I'm going to have a humidifier and an AC in the same room because I'm going to need both because it's going to be that bad.
Holy shit.
So yeah, when I go to Vegas, at least I'm like, oh man, thank God it's not as hot here.
Yeah, no. Vegas is, and I get it. Like it's expensive to go to both tournaments, but Evo now has what I feel is a very different vibe.
Well, it's a convention. It's a fighting game convention. Like the Comic-Con, right? Like, this is Comic-Con for... Yes, it's the biggest fighting game tournament, but it's also a celebration of fighting games, right?
Right.
Like, you'll go there and Artist Alley is just as big as any actual con you've ever been to. And it's all fighting game stuff. And by the way, Artist at EVO this year, I will be performing a Virtua Fighter check on all your booths. So watch the fuck out.
You're just gonna go around like this booth did not have it. This booth did not have it.
No, people who sell Virtua Fighter merch get my shout out on Twitter of 40,000 plus followers, and then you'll get more sales. So even if you got a little Sarah Bryant or a little Akira, trust me, it'll work out to your financial benefit.
I'm trying to think, did I see any VF merch at CEO?
EVO last year, 2 people, period, had anything VF.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not even... The thing is like, we haven't even seen that much information about, like, Virtua Fighter 6.
You don't need it. Just do a little charm of Akira and his new little dapper hat. Good enough.
People are gonna think Akira's Ryu.
Well, no, but that's why he has a new look, right?
Right. That's fair. I'm saying, like, you did the classic Akira.
Yeah, that's always been the problem, right? Like, what is that?
And then people will be like, oh, Sarah, she's like Nina, right?
Well, no, Sarah has a very different problem. So, old Akira, yes, he looks a bit like Ryu. You can't deny it.
Yeah, like the alpha.
Versus new Akira.
Oh, yeah, with the hat.
Yeah. In fact, their other new game, Stranger Than Heaven, the protagonist also looks like this. Stranger Than Heaven is like, not a replacement, but like, the new Yakuza series.
Okay.
And
is that the one where it's like set in Edo, Japan?
It's set in like it's set in like war Japan.
Oh, okay. But yeah, like old-timey Japan.
Yeah, it's old Japan, but not like way old, yeah.
Speaking of anime.
Yes, and I know. See, remember how we talked about how we get distracted all the time? Because that's what we do here. So, Hunter. You heard about this one? Does that ever ring a bell with you?
Never heard of it. I'm wearing the shirt.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and actually, yes. I do not have the capability of zooming in without breaking OBS. But yes, Lord BR is wearing a branded Gone fishing shirt. And so now let's get to we're getting to the Gone with the Wind part of Gone with the Wind. So we left off here. So we're going into episode 27. This is also season 2. And we also have new intros as well. And I won't show the intro here just because I've never gotten any less than 3 copyright strikes per episode now. But that first episode where we're showing intros got like 7 copyright strikes. So I'm going to try to minimize it, right?
One from each region of the world, basically.
Oh, yes. And for viewers of last week's episode, we were banned in Russia, by the way, for the Rocky bit. Which on brand, I guess, because Rocky 4 is Rocky versus Russia. So gotta take it to Ivan Drago. And Hisoka, is he the Ivan Drago of Hunter x Hunter? I guess that's the question. But yeah, so episode 27, Arrival of the Arena. So they've built up the Heavens Arena. This is where all the biggest, baddest, dudest, fightingest guys forever go to fight. And it's
stage in the fighting game.
I found somewhat bewildering is a very strong term, but they're like, oh man, it's so tall. And it's like the 4th tallest building in the world or something like that, right? And like,
yes, it's something like that.
But like, okay, so it couldn't even be the tall. Like you make the show, like you set the like it couldn't even be the tallest. Like
I think they said it was something like 250 floors, something like
yeah,
that.
it's the 200 floors, and then like there's the masters of the floors above them or whatever, which we'll get into.
Floor masters, yes.
But yeah, so no weight classes at all. So like sumo, because sumo does not have weight classes, unlike other combat sports. And it's basically okay. So we're gonna go here because they did set up. We're gonna practice to fight Hisoka later, right?
Yes, and they're trying to make some money, which, like, I thought they were, like, supposed to be automatic millionaires or something like that once they got their hunter licenses, but I guess
although
they still go out and do it.
They will make a lot of money.
Oh, yes.
Like, to the point where, like, I don't know how it's, like, the combat's, like, not the dominant career, because, like, even on the earlier floors, they're already making, like, UFC money, and then, like, at the top floors, they're, like, making, like, $1 million $1 or whatever per fight.
Literally living in luxury, and they
have like luxury apartments and all that. Like, yeah,
amazing.
But yeah, so they're like, okay, let's go fight, right? And the very first guy, and of course, spoiler, like they go through the first bunch of people like nothing, right? And each fight you win, you go up more floors per fight. So the very first guy is like 7 feet tall, 500 pounds, and Gon just beats him by just doing that.
Yeah, he's clearly a jobber, man. They're just like, you know, the series has a tendency to do that. They just throw people and just be like, just to demonstrate how cool our character.
Thank you for using the wrestling term. See, there you go. See, the wrestling gets in you one way or another. But I did write in my hot take notes the giant guy Gon fights. I said I want this guy to beat Gon, just because I always root for the big guy.
Yo, it's floor 1. At least wait until you get up to some higher floors before they get defeated.
I don't know, they show like a little like 1% of 1% human being, and then he just goes and he beats him.
Yeah,
which then they go to.
They could have showed a little bit of struggle, but I don't know.
They go to Killua next.
How far they've come.
Yeah.
Yes.
They go to Killua next, and he does the judo chop, and he just one shots the next guy too, right?
Right. Well,
and
that makes sense.
It's like this literally trivial, like not even breaking a sweat. So they immediately like go up 50 floors, whatever, something like immediate, right? And then you will remind me of his name. I've already forgotten his name. I'm bad about this, but I have dubbed this boy Baby Ryu.
Yeah, his name is Zushi.
Zushi.
What I will say is that he, in my opinion, some of the jobber enemies that they fight, like in these next couple of episodes, I'm like, those guys have more interesting designs than Zushi. Like,
there's some actually good designs here. Like, some of these guys actually have, like, there's one that's a direct reference to Fist of the North Star. We'll get to it.
Right. No, like, and then, like, they just put him in, like, a gi, which, like, I get. Like, it's kind of that classical, like, you know.
When you're a Ryu. Like, when you're a Ryu, you just got to do the Ryu, right? You're not here for flash.
I know, but I just feel like they could have done some, because he just looks like some background character to me. That's my one criticism of Zushi. Like, he's fine.
He's certainly generic, right? I won't argue that. Like, this makes me feel old. In 2 more years, Street Fighter will be 40 years old.
Oh, God. Oh, you're right, because I have the...
87 is Street Fighter 1.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And most Ryu's developed in 40 years as he grew a beard. And granted, sometimes that's all you need.
Strap. He's got
the strap too, but like, I remember Street Fighter 5 when they gave him the costume, right? All he did was grow a beard, then all of a sudden he became Hot Ryu. That's all he had to do, right? Grow the beard. But yeah, so Baby Ryu, they show him off here, and he's fighting. Here, let's switch our scenes. He's legitimately, and also, please forgive my titling here. I wrote Zushi versus Fat Guy.
I mean, I don't.
And I also got here my hot take notes that, where is it here? There's an awful lot of fat people here. So just like that race, there's just a lot of fat people in Hunter. And they're like, hey, I'm fine. I'm here for body diversity, as we talked about. But yeah, so he's up against this guy, and he just kind of punches his gut, and his like gut makes waves, right? So this is absolutely Heart from Fist of the North Star. Like, he's not, like, he's similar but legally distinct from Heart.
So who is Heart?
Heart
is he like a major baddie? He's
not a major baddie, but he's like a memorable baddie. Because he shows up, and he's like 47 feet tall.
Holy crap.
And this will get us copyright strike too, but that's fine. I'm used to it.
Be it.
So he's kind of a big boy, right?
Interesting. He's got like the Saiyan shoulder pads.
Yes, and even though Fist of the North Star is heavily inspired by Mad Max, and like they'll be the first to admit it, the author, this would also like double inspire other things later on too.
Got that like really.
And so Kenshiro is like, you're too fat to hurt. So he has to like get past the layers of his fat to like actually hurt him.
What a scene, man.
Yeah. My precious flesh. This is the dub, or a sub rather. So yeah, he gets past the layer of the fat to actually strike him, right?
Oh, that did not work.
Oh, Kenshiro is the guy who says you're already dead. So he only has to get one real hit on you and then you die.
He's literally one.
Oh, by the way, when we talked about Killua's father, this is the guy I was talking about. Because this looks exactly like Killua's father. So when Baby Ryu fights this guy, there is no way that's not intentional. That it's like Heart from Fist of the North Star. And also,
I have no clue.
I've mentioned before I'm a dub supremacy kind of guy. This is the Japanese version. But the English version of Fist of the North Star in this fight, instead of just saying die, he goes, huh, you're already dead, fat ass. And that's a much more memorable line, I think.
Insult to injury.
Yeah. No, and there's going to be a dub moment in these episodes, which I did not watch the Japanese line, but I don't need to watch it to know the English line was better. So we'll get to that when we get to it.
All right, fair enough.
But they show this other child. The way to define that you're strong in this world is to show you beating up 7 foot tall, 500-pound guys, right? That's like the baseline.
They're hot shit.
If you can't beat up someone 7 feet tall, if you can't beat up Andre the Giant, you're nobody in this world. So Baby Ryu Zushi can do it just as fine as everybody else.
Right. He's proven to be, also competent, also someone that is his age. So it's kind of a good benchmark of like comparison to see like how good Gon and Killua really are.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then it's established, okay, this guy, because he was in the new intro, so he's a somebody, right?
Yeah.
And then we are introduced to his mysterious teacher figure who will explode the world-building aspect of the show later on.
Yes.
Because we're going to talk about this thing called Nen and its impact, if you will.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, one thing I will say about Wing, that's his master's name, is that like he also kind of generic, but he really needs to tuck in his shirt the entire time.
That's his character trait. Like literally, that's his only character trait. Because besides that, I don't know the archetype, and it's hard to explain this if you're listening to the audio-only version, but his archetype is the glasses come down a bit. Like, he's that guy. And, like, the glow or whatever with an edge or some shit. That's all he is.
Yeah, like the sheen, like the kind of know-it-all sensei type character. Like, he's really just there to explain how Nen works. Like, that is his main reason for
he is the exposition character.
He is.
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, this episode is mostly set up, right? But it does kind of end up here. So Zushi, our Baby Ryu, is going to fight Killua. And Killua's like, oh, you're a nice guy, but judo chop, right?
Right, I'm going to take you out.
He doesn't go down to the judo chop. And then Killua's kind of like, what? Everyone goes down to the judo chop. And like, it obviously hurt him. It affected him. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not nothing to him, but he didn't go down right away, right?
Right.
And then, like, he has like a I guess very fitting for a baby Ryu. He has a, like, not mad, but he's like, okay, I got to step it up. And he has his Satsui no Hado moment. And he goes into the dark Hado and literally starts glowing. And the killer's like, whoa, what is this, right? Because, like, it kind of gives off the aura his brother has. And he doesn't like his brother. And this will come into play later.
Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So our master guy here, he yells at him, Zushi. It's like, hey, whatever you're doing, don't do it, right? Because we need to save that for a later episode. But it is, because I want to establish this later, it's very clear, and it will be clear later too, that the audience and the fighters can all hear each other perfectly.
Well, he did just scream from the blue.
He yelled at him, but all the audience can hear everything the fighters say. And if you yell, the fighters can hear what the audience says, right?
Okay, I think I know where you're going with this, because there were some points later in this anime where I was like, bro, you really want to talk about this right now in the middle of your fight? Just exposition dump?
Well, we're going to get to it in this episode. We don't even got to worry about later. It'll be in this set of episodes where certain truths will be revealed that you think are not known to the public, and they're saying it out loud, and everyone can hear this. Because they're talking about what they're saying in the crowd.
Right, literally. And then the sensei's like, oh man, not everybody can know about this.
Exactly. So
they literally just like talk about it.
We'll get to it when we get to it. But it's established early on, the crowd and the audience and the fighters, they can all hear each other just fine. But that's kind of it in that they kind of cut away. They don't show the full fight, but like, it's clear Killua won, right?
Yes, he won, but it wasn't like a satisfying victory.
Yeah, he wasn't happy, and
he wasn't able to completely dominate like he was to the people who came before. And so there's a little bit of mystery as to like, oh man, like what was that power that Zushi was doing, and what is this, right? So they're setting it up.
And Zushi held back once the master yelled at him, so he did not come at Killua with his full power. So that's all established here. And I'm just checking my notes just real quick. Oh, and then they say, the teacher kind of is like, well, they go to the teacher and it's like, well, what did the Zushi use? And then he does like and it's like, there are certain secrets of the world. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, he used Ten and Ren or whatever, but not. And so, but then we get the basis of here is Nen, right?
Yes.
And then we go
form the foundation of it.
Yeah. And so then we go to our next episode, episode 28, Nen, and Nen is the title.
Yeah. Did you want me to talk about
it?
Well,
let's say, if we want to lead us into this episode here.
I was like, are you waiting for me to talk about it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So,
28.
From what I remember, and I don't take as thorough details as notes as you do, but from what I remember, this episode is basically also kind of exposition-y. So basically,
very much so, yeah.
Like, from what I remember, like, Killua and God are talking. They're like, oh man, what was that power that, like, Zushi was exhibiting, that, like, really fierce aura? And Gohan is basically like, well, we can just go ask him. Right. So basically they go up to the master wing. They kind of ask, like, oh, like, what exactly was going on? And basically, you know, he's kind of explaining that a little bit. And then later on, after Gon and Killua kind of walk away, basically he says something along the lines of like, oh man, like, they can't know the truth. Like, only like the people who I can trust can know. Yeah,
only the chosen few.
Yes, of what is Nen, essentially. And then, let me see. Then after that, there's like a couple more fights, I believe, in between. There's some dude that has like a Cyclops. He's wearing Cyclops glasses, essentially.
Yeah, they got a guy who's like basically Fang from Street Fighter V. You got a dude who's like kind of like off of the brick Zangief.
Yes, the designs are really interesting and weird and quirky, which, again, jobbers have more interesting designs.
Like, they put some thought into it, right?
Some of the main characters.
Oh, here. And just to go back, because you did mention it, like, when the teacher dude's, like, talking about, like, you know, oh, Nen is so dangerous, they can't just teach him, blah, blah. And he takes a piece of paper, and he, like, sharpens it to a knife and throws it.
Oh, yeah, he throws it.
So, speaking of Japanimation, one of my favorite Japanimations from back in the day was Read or Die.
What is this? I've never heard of this.
So Read or Die stars one Yomiko Reedman, and she's a book nerd, and she has the superpower of paper. So like Magneto is the master of magnetism, right? So she has Magneto powers, but paper.
I have literally never heard of this. Was there an anime?
There was an anime. This is it right here. It's a train wreck and a half. But it started off as an OVA, just like a one-shot movie. Legitimately one of the most entertaining anime movies you'll ever watch. Even though like everyone speaks Japanese, she's supposed to be a British secret agent because that's how you do, right?
Just make her cooler, basically.
And she's up against like all the Ijin, all the great people of history who are back for some reason. So like she fights Sun Wukong. This lady right here is Matahari, like the dancer spy from like 100 years ago.
Oh wow.
Beethoven's there. I can't remember his name, but like the guy who brought electricity to Japan.
I have no clue.
So she's inventing like a bunch of superhero versions of like famous historical characters, right?
That's kind of cool. So it's like kind of like I don't want to say like Spy X Family because obviously the vibe is very different.
A lot of spy stuff, yeah. But yeah, a lot of like using paper as a weapon.
That's actually legitimately very cool, depending on how you do it.
Like,
there's like real last battle scenes.
Yeah, one of the last battle scenes is she, like the guy's trying to escape with a bunch of money, and she turns all the money into like a sword.
So it's like when he takes the paper and he throws it, it's kind of like he...
So it was like actually a true joy, and it just reminded me of Read or Die. It's one of my favorite of all time. A lot of good scenes. Just don't watch the actual anime. Because the anime, just for no reason, introduces a whole new cast of characters. Like, not the actual person that you liked in the movie. Mm-hmm. And then also the people in the movie were the bad guys all along. It's like an actual Austin Power moment. Where like, sadly, we knew all along. Like, what?
What?
So,
interesting.
The anime sucks bad. But the original Read or Die, a legitimate treat. I think it's only like an hour and 10 minutes. You can just breeze through it. Great animation. Interesting use of powers. So it reminded me of that, and I'm always happy to be reminded of Read or Die. So there we go. And specifically here, I got in my hot take notes, because when he does the thing and he throws the paper and like it's razor sharp, it's like, oh, he has za paper. Because their code name was za paper. Because very English.
They actually said that?
Well, no, that's what I said. Like in the Englishy, because it's the paper, but it's like za paper, right?
Okay. Like in the fake sort of, or not fake, but like the Japanese version of English.
Yeah, because they're all British secret agents, even though they all speak Japanese.
So they're all trying to speak English, but then they're speaking Japanese. But sometimes they're
and her name is Yomiko. Like it's not like, it's not like Victoria or nothing, right? Like it's Yomiko.
Maybe she's like Japanese. British.
She's half Japanese, half British, actually. So that's how they.
Okay, that's how they get away.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
That's how they get away. That's
but
very cool. A lot of these cryptic anime from the 2000s that just like no one has ever heard of.
Yeah. So highly suggest Read or Die. But yeah, so a little tangent on that. Sorry to say. But yeah, so they did that. The Nen powers. They talk about the 200 floor again. And then also I got here my hot take notes. So Gon and Killua have graduated to the 200 floor. So, and Killua says, "Oh, I made it here before when I was 6 years old."
Right.
Yeah.
He was. I think I don't know if he explained it. I think he just basically says like his dad dropped him here essentially.
Yeah, he did like a daycare day, and like 6-year-old daycare Killua.
Just come on up to the 200 floor. But yeah, he then explains like he never actually went on to the 200 floor. I guess he just like once he got to the 200 floor, he bounced. He
got like a certificate. Excuse me. He got a certification for 200 floor, but then like just didn't do it.
Oh, okay. Is that what it said?
Because it has its own set of rules. There's no more money anymore. It's like purely for honor, and also killing and weapons are allowed.
Right. It's basically like just turned into like a free-for-all tournament.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So we do that, and I got here. So they go into the hallway, and like, oh no, they encountered the Satsui no Hado. So again, it's multiple times coming up here. Because like literally like purple evil energy is like all over them. And like, what is this? And then, of course, just because I'm a cheap parody myself, my hot take notes is, oh, it's the Joker, baby. Because Hisoka is there.
So I finally, you kept saying that throughout the episodes. I'm like, what the hell is he's making a reference to the Joker. But I finally saw that video that you're actually referring to, which was that dude who is like in a high school performance.
Yeah.
And like, it's the Joker, baby. So I finally got it. I was like, oh, that's what you were referring to. I was like, what the hell are you keep saying? You keep saying
Yeah, just, here, we'll do this. So for the benefit of people watching and listening at home, you won't be able to hear this, but...
No, I've already seen it.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just this gentleman here. I hope this isn't a low point in his life. Like like Star Wars kid. Like hopefully this is made him money somehow, but...
Maybe, yeah.
Well, I'm the Joker, baby.
Yeah, I'm the Joker, baby. And
you actually watched the full video, which I'm
yes,
sure you have, but it's available. It just gets worse.
No.
Keeps going.
I said, like, it's like Star Wars kid. Maybe not the highlight of his life, but like, I hope it's one of those things where like you can turn around and make money on it eventually. You know, like well, probably a bad example, but for a temporary amount of time, like Airsoft Fatty, which oh god, that's a whole other.
Oh my god.
Real quick like detour, but
you are chronically online, and
I am like I'm a big fan of characters, right? I think I told you here before we went on, like I'm a big fan of history because you can't tell a better story than history. And what better story is there than people like Airsoft Fatty?
Who is this?
He's a gentleman who did lead a bit of an unfortunate life, still does. Due to bad financial decisions.
Oh, gosh.
Because he made some money. That's the thing. He did make some money. And didn't spend it the wisest. But he showed up on the internet doing some lightsaber duels. And yes, people made fun of it, whatever. But he did turn it around into a career to a point. Right?
Okay, good
so that's good.
You gotta monetize it.
And after he made some money... Well, then it's your fault at that point, right? Once you got the fame, then you made some money off maybe an embarrassing moment in your life, but then you blow it. That's on you, okay? I can't help you after that, you know, like.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stories like that, or like people that basically like they tried to keep up with the trend, and then it just like it wasn't working after a while because like the algorithm changed. Like, what's those guys? They made like the huge like just so much fast food and all that crap. And
not Mr. Beast. Something LA, Beast LA.
No. It's like, God, I forget what it's called. It's some sort of like food channel, basically, where they would make like just like all this fast food, basically, and they would eat all of it.
Oh, mukbang?
It would look like a heart. No, it's not mukbang. It was like mukbang before mukbang.
Oh, okay.
Like I really don't remember the name of the channel, but like they were Americans, so like it's not like Korea. That's like more a mukbang thing. But anyways, like it like kind of gives me the same vibe of like they at one point like they were on the top of the world and like they were doing really well, and then just over time it's like you see them still trying the same thing.
Yeah,
and it just doesn't get the same.
It doesn't work anymore, and then like and thank God for me, like I thank Dragon Ball FighterZ and Guilty Gear very much, because if they didn't help revitalize fighting games the way they did, I'd be on YouTube like getting 1,000 views a video talking about like weird old like let's talk Karnov, like. What about Karnov? What about Ask 120% Burning Spirit or whatever the fuck? I can't never remember the name of that game. What about Arcana Heart?
I mean, Guile Winpo just did a video on that, and it did pretty well.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, so there's interest in it.
I met him at Evo last year for like 10 minutes, but he was a very nice guy. I liked him. Yeah.
Very nice guy. But yeah, or like a similar vibe being like let's players. You had the let's play boom, and now it's like it's not.
It's the thing was like you do a thing. And it worked for the time, and then it stopped working, but you don't evolve.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's, on YouTube, that's the worst thing you could ever do.
Yes, for sure.
Like,
people that
well, I know we're detouring, we'll get back to it, don't worry, but like, real quick, because I teach a lot of fledgling YouTube fighting game channels how YouTube works, right?
Right.
And when I started getting bigger, like I was starting getting bigger with Marvel Infinite, but like Dragon Ball FighterZ obviously was like where stuff started really working for me, right? And there was a lot of Dragon Ball FighterZ channels at the time. I was certainly not the only one, right? And viewers, listeners, probably know some of them, like Jamcrofts, right? Jamcroft started getting really big around the time. He's not so much in fighting games now, but Dato Doya is bigger than all of us, right? He's like a Maximilian level channel now, but he went on to like greater anime, right? But then there's a lot of Dragon Ball FighterZ channels that like never left Dragon Ball FighterZ. And Dragon Ball FighterZ, it's a game I love, but it kind of went off a cliff over time, right? Very poor decision making. And when it went off the cliff and you're staying with the game, you didn't... Like, when I noticed, like, things were doing good, but I'm like, okay, I can't only forever be DBFZ, right? So I started doing Mortal Kombat 11 content. I started going more into Street Fighter 5, right? Like, I started diversifying. Because if you're a one-game channel and that game doesn't do good, things aren't going to work good for you.
Right.
Like,
is that exactly that situation happened with now that Mortal Kombat 1 is no longer going to be supported? It's
like a lot of like
very much
dedicated Mortal Kombat channels. They're because like I'm assuming, I don't know, but like at earliest the next game will get announced at like the Game Awards. That's December. We're still a hot minute away from December. So if you're a Mortal Kombat channel, you have effectively no content till December. Like at least Tekken, you can like make rage baiting videos or something, right? Like Harada killing the game, you know?
Well, it's still very much an active game right now.
And then every patch, you can be like, the game saved or the game ruined even more. Like you can do something, right? Because Tekken, even though Tekken's not necessarily at the height of its power right now, it's not going away, right?
No, it's not. It's a bigger game at this point.
Yeah.
And if you're, you can always hop from Tekken to other 3D games to like now, right? Because now you have Virtua Fighter coming.
Yeah, exactly. When Virtua Fighter comes, all are welcome. All are welcome. All are welcome. One of us. One of us. Gooble gobble, one of us. So don't worry, I'll take all y'all in, all you Tekken refugees. I'll show you how a real fighting game plays. Like, because you've been on kid mode for a while, and when you play Virtua Fighter, I'm like, oh, now I know how grown-ups play video games. So we'll get you there.
That's one series that, like, I
like how you don't even challenge that. Thank you very much. I'm just doing here the most inflammatory thing I could possibly say, and you're like, yeah, that's about right.
I mean, I don't have that much reference for Virtua Fighter, so I can't really speak to it, right? I'm not qualified to speak to it.
I'll get you there when the time comes, don't worry.
I appreciate it. But yeah, like VF, like my main thing about VF is just like I watched the anime, and it was actually not a bad fighting game anime.
It's not, although it's
really bad.
God, an anime came out like 95 or something like that. Like
it's some 90s shit for sure. But it's honestly not that bad. But my main thing about the VF games is like I never grew up with them, and then they're not interesting for me to play from like a single player content perspective, so I just never got into it, right?
They had the best ever single player mode, but it's purely they trained, like they got pro players in, play thousands and thousands and thousands of matches, and they did like AI before, like all the negative connotation of AI, and they trained all the bots to fight like the pro players. Like they do the same kind of mix-ups, they do the same tech and all that kind of stuff. So they had the most advanced bots in fighting game history. So, and they had a whole single-player mode based around that. Like, you would go around from arcade to arcade in Japan, and you would be a low-level arcade. It's like Tekken Quest. Tekken Quest is literally a not well-implemented version of that.
Okay.
But there's no story, no lore. Like, I always talk about the Satan Shark. Like, guys, that's the only one we're talking about.
They always, they did have a very good training mode, though. Yes. I remember, like, Virtua 4 specifically. It was actually amazing and very well
best of all time. Many would argue. I also about making a video about that one day, but even like Virtua Fighter 5 had frame data on the 360.
Pretty fucking nuts, considering that there are games that Strive that still don't have frame data to this.
Exactly, or would charge you money for frame data later in the game's life, like Tekken, right? Like so.
Right, exactly.
All right, but okay, now we've detoured enough. So basically, Hisoka can do the Satsui no Hado. They're not yet trained in Nen. And it's like, oh, you kids don't even know what Nen is. Like, so...
Come back later.
Yeah, it's like, come back. And like, they literally physically cannot progress because of like his aura, right? Like his Satsui no Hado.
Right.
So
and they basically get into like how he like overheard where that Gon and Killua were gonna go to the tower, so he like followed them here. So it's like it's given big stalker vibes for sure. But then you learn later on that he's been here for a while.
Yes, I do want to highlight that point specifically because he's like, I read your internet and saw you buy the tickets.
Yes.
So I got here on my hot take notes. He's a hacker. He hacked their internet. So he's like actually keyed in, like he's looking at Gon's search history and shit. Like,
no, he's literally like he's literally stalking them, and also like preventing them from going up to kind of protect them in a way, because they do briefly talk about this thing that they don't really get into all that much, but they call it Nen initiation, where like if you go into the 200 floor without having
everyone's a Nen user on 200 floor.
Yeah, everyone's gonna fuck you up just because like they have Nen and you don't. Therefore, you don't know how to protect yourself against Nen. So they don't really get into the specifics beyond like you get messed up if you go through Nen initiation. But Hisoka, he's just protecting Gon and Killua,
kind of like the teacher doodle like go into all the they go very wiki heavy on like the Nen stuff. They there's some lore and mechanics, and as he explains them, is like showing like how if you don't have Nen, like even the most basic thing will like absolutely kill you.
Yeah, it's very in depth, especially compared to like other, let's take your favorite Dragon Ball series for example. It's just like, oh, you have the key or you have the chi that makes your powers, that makes us fly. Versus like Hunter x Hunter has like such in depth explanations about how everything works, which personally I really like because it does a lot of world building and allows you to kind of understand a little bit more about like why people's powers work the way they do. I'm sure there's a million different lore channels.
Like it's a little past preview. You guys watched a little bit past the episodes we're covering, but they have like JRPG classes and stuff.
They do. They do. I don't think they get into this. Oh, okay, no. That's
it's a bit past these episodes, but they have like a whole class system and all that. Like they get into it.
Yeah. But anyways, going back to the episode, basically from there, like they're up on the 200 floor, but for whatever reason, they have to register for a match like by midnight that night, whereas their commitment is going to be called into question. So like Gon, he can come back again, whatever, come to the 200 floor. But for whatever reason, because Killua has already been there and then he ditched out, he can't come back. So whatever, they have to learn Nen like ASAP.
It's absolutely a MacGuffin to like induce a level of stress that doesn't need to be there. But it's not only have you just heard about this whole concept of magic that existed today, you have to learn it by midnight or the plot's over. Right. So.
And what's really dumb is like this is on a later episode, but they literally say like, oh, you have 90 days to prepare for your match, right? So like Bro could have literally just signed up for the match and spent the next 2 months learning about Nen, and then just come and did his match. But anyways, it's whatever.
But that's basically where we leave off. That's kind of the episode. It's like cliffhangers like, you got to learn this now. It's like a fucking 80s high school comedy. It's like, we got to cram for the test because tomorrow is a test or something like that, right? Like,
yeah, basically. And then the Master Wing sees that they've made it to the 200 floor or something like that. He's like, oh shit. And then
now they can finally learn, right? But so the next episode, wait a second here. Not quite yet here. So Hisoka and he talks about Nen, how to use aura, offense and defense, and he's like, he breaks the wall. It's like, if you have aura and something doesn't have aura, I can shatter you like this wall. So you have to learn it.
Did do that.
Yeah. But so episode 29, Awakening and Potential. So my notes here, basically they just expostulate here. Nen's the best. Everyone has Nen's good. People don't have Nen are friggin' idiots. Yeah. And also we need to crash course you on Nen because it's today all of a sudden, right? So you can either learn Nen right, or you can use this cheater method we have. And I do have here
very dangerous cheater method way, which
yes,
apparently wasn't very dangerous. Well, anyways, they talk about why it's dangerous, but I think it's a dumb explanation.
Not to keep Dragon Ball in here, but they're basically going to Guru and they have to awaken their power. That's like the cheater method.
That's literally what it is. That's fucking funny. Oh my god, Krillin looks a little stoned.
Yeah, he looks a little baked here. But yeah, so that was my kind of thing. It's like, so you can learn normally or you can awaken your power, right?
Right, you do it the fast way.
Yeah.
But it's a dangerous method because it could be used against you because I forget what they say, but like
and you could
like,
develop wrong, basically.
Yeah, something like that. Or like someone can attack you if they have bad intentions, if they're unlocking your aura or a Nen or whatever.
And they show aura too for like the ongoing and Killua. And like all I could think was like Yoda, basically. It's like talking about like the Force. It's like luminous beings we are, because they're like literally glowing, right? Like,
right. It's like you can see the Force through your eyes, and before you couldn't see it because the nodes had to be opened and released,
which will come into play later, using foresight to see stuff, right?
Right.
But yeah, basically they get this super crash course. So like, okay, this isn't the best teaching, but it's enough to like. It's enough to literally get your foot in the door on the 200th floor, right? And so I wrote here, they aura farm their way in, because I thought I was pretty clever about saying that. And then it's like, okay, now we can sign up for fights. And like that, they're done, right? Like that's the thing. And I wrote some not woke terminology here.
Oh God, all right.
Because they immediately get like this new crew of people on their ass, right? It's like, oh, some newcomers here, right?
Right. The weirdos.
Yeah, and so I wrote here, it's like they're getting harassed by a drug addict and two cripples.
One of the dudes, these guys' designs are really interesting.
Well, the one guy looks like he's dying, and the other guy's literally like has a peg leg and a cane, and the other guy's on like a tank wheelchair.
Yeah, they're literally like just. I mean, they're not jobbers because they are legitimately like a threat, which you see.
Yeah, they're stronger, right? Yeah, but
right,
like,
but they're just so fucking goofy looking. Also, Hisoka, can I just say, he was waiting there the whole time for them to come back. Like he was like waiting like 4 hours for these guys to come back to sign up.
Yeah, like he knew. He's like, oh no, he's like, I've watched this show already. I know how this is gonna turn out, right? Like, and then he does the whole like, like, and then his weird little clown voice, like, oh, I guess I'll see you boys later.
Right. And like it's also funny, like those little creepy dudes, like the lady, you know, that they're talking to the receptionist to sign up, and like the lady's like, okay, you're in room XXX and you're in room XXX. And I was like, bro, these like creepy dudes are literally standing right here. You're literally doxing.
Yeah, they're like legitimately creeping on him because they view him as easy wins, right? So they're like crowding him, like, I want to fight you, I want to fight you, I want to fight you. Because they do. Right. To be fair, they show like there's a rule system here, right? So they're incentivized for easy wins. So like if you get 10 wins, and I can't remember, without as many XYZ amount of losses, then you can fight the floor master.
Yeah, 4 losses.
So they're all of them got like some amount of wins, so they want the easiest possible wins, and they view the kids as easy wins.
Right. They don't consider them as threats or whatever. Which, to be fair, they're not very intimidating looking.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like we do see the one guy do his stuff in the fight, right? But it's only the 2 and 4 where you're allowed to use weapons.
Yes.
So
200 floor.
I understand they're Nen users and therefore are by default some level of strong, but like at least for 2 of the 3, I would have liked to see their fights without weapons.
That's fair.
Like,
yeah, and
how is that guy who's like literally half human, half pogo stick gonna fight without his cane?
I don't know. They're just like, we want to see some cool powers. Use the cool powers. Like, yeah, that's kind of the.
I understand. Right. I want what they can never give me, but like it prompts questions. You know, like did the tank tread dude just run people over? Like,
I don't think I don't remember. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen the Hunter x Hunter anime, but I don't think you ever fight those guys? Question mark. I might be wrong.
No. We'll get into it. Not this episode. Like we'll fight the pogo dude.
Not the peg leg dude. Yeah. The pogo.
And
dude.
a later episode, you'll see tank dude.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, who knows about peg leg dude? I haven't gone that far back into the anime yet. But also one thing I did want to mention is that, like, yeah, at this point, like, Gon is, like, you see his impatience really coming through very strongly because the lady literally tells them, like, oh, you have, like, 90 days once you sign up for the match or whatever, like, up to 90 days to actually train and get ready for the match and then actually have the match.
This absolutely comes up.
I'm trying to do it tomorrow.
As they're setting up for like a training arc already, right? And the master guy's like, okay, you gotta learn this. And Gon's like, yeah, but actually, how about go to hell? And I'm gonna fight right now.
Right. He's like, I want to fight. Like, I want to learn. Like, I don't really care if I'm gonna get hurt. Like, I'm just trying to learn on the fly.
And yeah, so okay, actually, I wrote down these guys originally as the Goof Troop. So yeah, we threaten a training arc, but instead Gon's like, no, I'm going to go to it right now. I barely understand any of these rules about like Nen and Ren and all these like archetypes of power, right? Mm-hmm. And he's up against Magical Beyblade Man because he uses like spinning tops.
I literally thought the same thing. I was like, oh, this guy's just like a Beyblade dude, but then he's dressed like a shy guy.
Yeah, he's dressed like
interesting combination.
Yeah, shy guy, or like a low tier like wizard or something like that, right?
Yeah, like he reminds me of an Octorok too from the Zelda series.
A little bit, and that's kind of where we leave off. And so then we go to episode 30, Fierce and Ferocious.
Yes, and this is actually like where they're fighting now in the I don't even remember his name, like the spinning top dude and Gon.
Beyblade Man, I don't even remember his name.
Beyblade Man, he calls them sumo tops. They're Beyblades in reality, but we're in their arena now. The arena now they're at the 200th floor. It's like huge, like this huge arena. On the bottom floors, there's barely anybody watching, but now it's like it's this whole grand affair where people are really watching. And then one little detail that I thought was kind of funny is like you see like the employees kind of walking around, like the referees and the people that are commentating the match. Their robes kind of remind me of Hisenko's colors. They got like the pink and the yellow.
Yes, I said the exact thing when I was watching the show.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you know.
Like, yeah, and like these kind of like, and I understand it's more of like a traditional like Asian like it's a thing, but that specific color scheme is a Shinko color scheme.
It's very coded. To
real
so
quick.
Like, oh, okay.
Just this won't play on the audio, but if you don't know what we're saying. So Shenko from Darkstalkers, who is I can't remember the term, but the Chinese vampire.
A Jiangshi.
Jiangshi, something like that, yeah. Also, fighting game Grognard. No, Faust is not the random item inventor archetype. Shenko is the inventor of that archetype. Faust stole her shit. Half of all of the original Guilty Gear is just a ripoff of Darkstalkers. Like, Guilty Gear became its own thing. Yes, absolutely. Right. But, and like, not even just Dark, like, once again, Soul Bad Guy is a Terry Bogard ripoff. Or you could say inspired by Terry Bogard, if you want to be more polite about it, right? But it wasn't, the Guilty Gear 1 wasn't terribly original. But yeah, so she is the inventor of the random item archetype. And she has a very defined color scheme.
The pink with the
blue, and
blue, purple.
The
yellow.
people have like very much like this color scheme,
right?
And like it's one of those things because like some of the things we talk about like heart, right? Like this feels like it's obviously an intentional reference. And oh yeah, by the way, that's Avatar magic cards. But some of them I don't know if it's just like pure coincidence or if it is. It's like one of those things like you see green and purple, right? And like every time I see green and purple, you're either going to think the Joker or Eva 01. Like that's how my brain works. And like, and sometimes it's obvious, and sometimes it's literally just a coincidence. So
right, no, who knows? I mean, when the manga was drawn, it was black.
Yeah, when it was in black and white, like
right. you can extrapolate whatever the hell you want from it, I guess. But yeah, no, the colors are very dark stalkers coded, so that's the thing that kind of stood out to me. But yeah, it's like, so basically Gon, like the top dude, he like sends his tops out with his Nen powers essentially, and so they're spinning really fast. They're kind of like, essentially they're bumping into each other. They're kind of like attacking Gon, and so he's very overwhelmed essentially with what's going on. He's getting hit, like he's basically like, he's not in a good place. Like sorry, one thing that we should mention also is like the mechanics of how the battles actually work. So it's like, I forget exactly what it is, but
it's point based, yeah.
Yes, get certain number of points. So if you do like a knockout-ish attack, it's like 3 points or something like that. So needless to say, you don't have to actually like physically knock someone out.
Yes, that came up. It comes up in this actual fight too, and I was actually a little disappointed because like my brain is ring out equal auto lost, right? And instead, it's just points awarded.
That's very fighting game coded logic.
Oh, it's just like my favorite movie of all time is Bloodsport, and that's how Bloodsport worked. You either submit or you got ring out. That was the only two ways to lose. Or knockout,
exactly. And they literally, well, not literally, but they kind of did a similar thing, you know, with like the tournament that happened in the Hunter exam, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you think a similar thing is about to happen here, especially when you're like, oh, it's a match to the, you know, to the death or whatever, like people are getting really hurt here. But it's like, oh no, it's just like a 10-point system or whatever, which I don't know. I feel like I don't really understand the logic of exactly.
It's like old school karate tournament rules, like points, like.
Yeah, you're right. It's points based. So, but anyways, so this top guy, he's like getting points off Gon, just like slapping him around with like the different tops. And Gon himself is like, he's like, well, I don't know how to beat this guy. He's getting thrown out of the arena. He's trying to think about, you know, how to beat this guy essentially. And needless to say, like he ends up using, I guess again with his like, he's got like a lot of creative energy, like with the Hunter exam.
He uses I would get this wrong. He uses Ren, I think.
Zetsu. He uses Zetsu essentially to conceal his Nen, like basically make it so that he has no Nen.
Yes, learn secret camouflage is what I wrote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I guess the logic that they gave was that if he's maintaining Nen to prevent himself from getting majorly injured by the tops, he's unable to kind of tell where the tops are because his own Nen is interfering with his ability to track.
So yeah, at this point he can actually start dodging them, right? He's not just getting freed up. I did it right here. My main next note is kachidaze, which just so you know.
Where is that from, dude? Every time you come up with a reference, I'm just like, I don't know what this is.
Now this one's one from your time, so this isn't some 80s thing. This is Ultra Instinct Goku.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen Super.
Yeah, so that's the song that plays when he's UI Goku. Kachidaze, goon goon goon, and like that. So, and obviously in UI Goku can't get hit. That's his thing. He can dodge everything, right?
Okay, maybe.
So that's his UI Goku moment.
Can you play? Well, no, I can't hear the song.
Well, yeah, I can play it. Like I don't care if I got copyright strike. So.
Well, I can't hear it. That's what I'm saying.
No, but we can play it for the benefit of the viewers at home who might not know.
I've seen Super, so it's like, I don't know why I don't know.
Get your brightest smile.
Some advertisements about Bright Smiles. Crest, good company. They do good by your teeth. Right, now it's playing. That's awful loud. Holy shit. So, very loud. That's an automatic. So we're on 3 copyright strikes at least by now. At least.
Oh yeah.
Good thing this channel's not monetized.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's never gonna be monetized.
Yeah. But that was just my moment. It's like, because now he's like, he can just dodge. Like, he's not winning. And spoiler, he will lose this fight. Which I like it when the hero doesn't just win right away, right? Like, there's lessons to be learned.
Which, like, you know, he has, there's been plenty of matches he hasn't won before. Like, there's been plenty of, like...
And I appreciate it every single time it happens, and every time it happens in the future, I will still like it.
Fair enough. But yeah, he...
my least favorite thing in the world is when the character's, like, the chosen one, which, you know, in the early episodes, that's what I said, Gon's the chosen one, right? And I'm being proved wrong. Admittedly, I'm being proved wrong. But, like, when it's just, I just effortlessly go through everything. The only time I've ever liked that, and once, we always get off track here, but there's a manga called Teppu.
Teppu, okay.
This is about female MMA in Japan. And specifically, the comics, like, ladies MMA in Japan is not that big of a deal. We all know it. Mm-hmm. So we have to work extra hard to even, like, shine through, right? And the main character, so this is the main character. The main character is the villain.
Really? Interesting.
Because she's the chosen one, and everything comes effortlessly to her. Like, she fell ass backwards in it. She wasn't even trying to do MMA. Mm-hmm. And she falls ass backwards into it, and she's amazing at it.
Awesome.
So she effortlessly tries. She'll, like, invent, like, major, like, you know, MMA techniques. Like, oh, no, I just thought it'd work. I don't know. Worked. Okay, I win. And...
Okay, so... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, so I always so the one time I actually like it when the chosen one always wins is specifically this comic where the villain is the hero, the main character, because she's not present, like, all the other characters fucking hate her guts because it's so easy and so effortless for her. Because they have, like, this girl, she's, like, not Makoto from Street Fighter. Mm-hmm. Eventually her main villain is, like, Hoist Gracie's daughter. Like, it's not actually Hoist Gracie's daughter, but, like, Brazilian MMA legend's unnamed daughter. And even then, she still beats her, right? So it's just, so it's flipping the script on it.
Yeah, no, that's a really cool concept. I guess, like, a modern equivalent of the you just beat through your way through everything would be, like, I don't know, like a One Punch Man sort of.
Yeah, that's totally like a gag, right? Like, so that's the joke. That's the premise. Like, it was when he's, like, trying to grab chips, but he grabbed the chips too fast and accidentally, like, hit that guy and knocked him on his ass, right? Like,
right.
Yeah. So well, that's fine, because there's no way presented as, like, a serious hero's journey kind of thing, right?
Right. Oh man, you must hate power fantasies. That must be, like, your number one most hated genre. I
hate them. I like when they're subverted. But when they're, like, just played straight, like my favorite hero is Superman, right? And is Superman the strongest? Yes, right? No one who's a real Superman fan cares about the fighting. The fighting is, like, the least of it. Sure, he's just whatever. That's not what he's about. Like, there's so many great issues of, like, see, we can do this here. It's not going to play as great on the audio.
Yet another tangent. This is, like, the third tangent.
But, like, some great shots of Superman is, like, girl is literally going to jump off a roof. She's going to kill herself. And it's like, your doctor really did get held up. It's not as bad as it seems. Like, you know, you're stronger than you think you are. And he just stops her from, like, jumping off the roof, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of great Superman stories with, like, specifically people jumping off roofs. Because, like, one's like, this woman has cancer and she's gonna die.
Right.
And it's like, you know what? I'm Superman. I can stop you from jumping off a roof. Like, it's not an issue for me. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you know what? If you truly think you'll never have one more good day for the rest of your life, jump and I won't stop you. But if you think there's still one more day worth fighting for, then don't jump, right?
Like, does Batman ever do anything like that? Because
I feel like Batman, I fucking hate Batman because he is the power fantasy character, right? Because I don't care if he's a regular guy, he always wins every fight, right? Mm-hmm. He has, like, 2 moments like that. One of them's from the anime, and everyone will show these same 2 moments. Superman has 1,000 moments like this. Superman, some of my favorite Superman moments, I'll get emotional even describing them. And Superman's about, yes, he'll kick your guy's ass. He's strong. It doesn't fucking matter. It's the moments.
Well established.
Yeah. Like I remember a great Superman story. Like that's what Superman is to me, right there.
Right.
There's a great Superman story called Peace on Earth. And the whole idea is like, you know what? I'm gonna go feed the world. Fuck it. I'm fucking Superman. Who the fuck's gonna stop me from feeding the world? Right? Mm-hmm. And so he gets like dispensation from the UN. And so he gets all the food he could ever want. And for the first few places he goes, it's like fucking high fives, like, yeah, Superman, let's go. Let's get food to the hungry people. And then he goes to like somewhere nebulously in Eastern Europe that like, it's not Russia, but like, you know, like people aren't as a fan because they view him as like an agent of America. And it's like, no, I'm just here. Literally, fuck, here's food. Let's go. Right? And people are like, no. And then he's kind of like, he's like, what the fuck, right? And there's a line. Yeah, there's a line. This line always stuck with me. This is a line Batman can never have. That's why I don't like Batman. People are throwing rocks at him. Like, get the fuck out of here, right? And it's like, every rock bounces harmlessly off my invincible body. Every rock hurts. And like the whole premise of the comic Peace on Earth is there's no fighting, even though there's opportunities for it. It ends with Superman in tears, crying in front of like Mom and Pa Kent, because he's just trying to feed hungry people, right? Like he goes to Africa and there's a warlord, and the warlord's like, "Yeah, Superman, you're gonna give me all that food," and Superman's like, "Go fuck yourself!" Like what? Like, and he eye lasers all their guns out of their hands. Like, buddy, I am Superman. What on earth can you do to me to stop me from feeding these hungry people? And the guy, he's just like, you know, like stock African warlord dude, right? He's like, what I can do that you can't do is be here tomorrow. And the day after that. And the day after that. And one of these days, you're not going to be here. And those days, if you don't give me that food right now, they're going to pay the price. The day you're gone, because you're going to go in space, you're going to fight Darkseid, you're going to fight, and there's going to be something, and you're not going to be here, and that's the day they will pay if you don't give me the food. And Superman's there, and he's just like, I'm fucking beat. Like, I'm beat, I'm done. Crazy. And eventually he goes to like not North Korea, and not North Korea literally just blows up the fucking food he's trying to give them. Right? And it just, the comic ends with him, like, he's back on the farm, and he's fucking crying his eyes, like, I'm fucking Superman, and I'm powerless. Mm-hmm. And, like, that's what I love. Yes, he can punch people harder. But that's not what I wanted about, you know? Like,
well, Bruce Wayne, he's a billionaire, right?
Yes, and what does he love to do? He loves to beat up Gotham's mentally ill and homeless. And he likes to beat them up so bad, they have to be put into the American healthcare system.
Oh, God. That's an even worse fate than the actual, like, fucking getting bodied.
And yes, I know Bruce donates and all that stuff. Like, I understand that's there. But, like, when you talk about the stuff I love... Oh, that's the cancer comic I was talking about right there. Mm-hmm. Talk about the stuff I love. That's what I like about Superman. Like, I grew up, like, I've discussed it. I grew up on the edgelord side of things, right? Like Venom, Carnage, Punisher, Spawn. And eventually that's Superman, Captain America, like moralistic kind of guys. And that's why I hate Goku in Dragon Ball. Because he's not moralistic.
Say, he's literally the power fantasy in a nutshell times 10.
Yeah. So my favorite character is, by definition, the number one power fantasy guy, if you want to rate it that way. Me and other people who like that character, no one likes him for that. Like, it's occasionally nice, like, the odd comic you'll fight Doomsday, or, like, sometimes that's cool, right? But, like...
Yeah, there's action, you know?
Like, my hope for that Superman movie is if they do it right, it's a movie that's going to make you cry. Because that's what Superman should do, is, like, get you in the feels about humanity. Like, even though the plot's not great in the games, the Injustice comics... There's a line where Superman's yelling at Batman, right? And it's like, Bruce, I'm the alien. I'm the actual alien. Why can't you have a human conversation with me?
No, those comics are actually really good.
The comics are actually great. Like, the Injustice comics are fantastic.
Really good.
Yeah.
100%.
But yeah, so now we've once again detoured a bit. So the fight Once again, this is not a power fantasy for Gon because he loses. He gets crushed.
Yeah,
like he has a moment where like at least he can like dodge stuff for a minute. But that's all he can do. He can't go on offense. And not only does he loses big. Because the next shot is like the hospital or whatever, right? And Killua's like, yeah, you broke 3 ribs, you broke your leg. Like he's just listing off all these injuries, right? And it's like, doctors say you're out for 4 months. And then teacher dude comes in and he slaps the shit out of him. And it's like, I told you you were not ready. And now what happens is you fucking ran into a fight and you got, not only did you lose, you got crushed, right?
Right. But he doesn't suffer any, I mean, it is a real consequence, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not really a consequence, right?
Well, yeah.
He's on doing what he does.
So doctors say he's out for 4 months. Killua lies to the teacher, says he's out for 2, because he knows the teacher will, like, well, if he finds out. And then turns out, like, I think it's the next episode, but he's only done for, like, a month.
Yeah, he's done for a month, and then he's ready.
Because he's got, like, John Cena regeneration, like...
Yes, he's got his super kid special powers, but yeah, basically, like, the sensei is like, you can't train using your Nen, like, I'm keeping you to your promise. Although later on, he's like, okay, I guess you can use train in 10, which is like one of the specific,
Yeah, he was very specific. And he gives them a promise ribbon. It's like, yes, you better not, like, I will, he's like, basically, if you break your promise and don't use Nen, like, just train normally, I will leave you, like, we're done. Like, I'm not going to teach you anymore. The hell with you, because you've already, like, disappointed me once, right?
Right, which they could very well go to another teacher, which I actually think Killua kind of says at some point, if I remember. But
yeah, they're like, well, we can find someone else. Like,
right. But Gon's a good boy. He's going to keep his promise.
Yes, and spoiler, I guess, for the episode out, but he does keep his promise. Because the ring or whatever, like, it had a trick to it.
Yeah, there was, like, it would sense if
he actually used Nen, it would unravel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And I remember if it's specific, no, it's after a moment, but like, eventually at some point later in this episode, the teacher, he's like, these kids are monsters. Like, he's like they're obviously not the strongest right now, but they're also like friggin' 12 years old, and 12-year-olds shouldn't be this strong. And it's kind of like, what am I making here? Like,
yeah, like, what's his name? Zushi. Like, he's a more appropriate model of, like, what a talented, like, 10-year-old should look like, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
and
by comparison.
They had 1 3-hour crash course to make the deadline, and they're already they're so far beyond this kid after, like, a half day's training, right? Like... Right.
Which, like, I kind of get Killua, because he was using a lot of... I feel like he was maybe using a lot of these techniques.
Yeah, he already had... Like, he's trained in advanced techniques and stuff like that, right? Maybe not Nen, right. But, like, he was also here when he was 6 and got the floor 200.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Yeah. But yeah, so Gon's he's got to take some time off to recover, so that's a whole thing that they'll get into in the next episode. But then we also briefly see...
Okay, wait, sorry, not to interrupt here. I'm just looking at my hot take notes here.
Oh, God, all right.
So when he slapped Gon for breaking, what his, like, teachings here, I wrote, slap that ignorant bitch. I do recall now. I was like, yeah! I was like, get him for breaking your rules. So,
I mean, he's not... Okay, Gon's not his student. So what would make him obligated not to sign up for a match? There's nothing there, technically.
I don't know, he was still warned, like, hey, let's do this proper, right? And then he's like, nah, he Miles Morales it, right? He's like, I'm going to do things. Yeah. I'm going to do it my way. Like...
That's fair, but we've seen previously, he is a very much an independent streak. So he's just going to do what he wants, consequences be damned, which, they're never really that particularly long-lasting, is what I will say, with the exception of a few specific cases.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's able to go away, Scott.
Now, this is the part that drove me insane. I screamed at the TV again. So we end up the episode, and we have Kurapika. And I'm like, yeah, like, so far, Kurapika is maybe my favorite character so far. And Kurapika's like, So they're on their journey, Killua and Gon, and Leorio's like, well, I'm going to do my doctor thing I said I was going to do, right? So Kurapika's the only one who's like, okay, let's become a hunter. Like, I'm a hunter now. Let's do hunter things. Mm-hmm. And then they go to like a very like tattooed up lady. And it's like, hey, so cool thing, job, gotcha. Do you see this? And it's like, she has like a Nen projection, right? And he can't see it because Kurapika does not know Nen.
Right.
And she literally says, well then, for you, the hunter exam is not over yet. The hunter exam begins screaming at the TV.
That's what they're referring to.
I know, but like,
your Nen.
I like sort of memed on it earlier, but like they keep saying the hunter exam's not over. And now it's not over again. They're being unironic. My face is actually turning red right now. Oh my, I'm looking at the screen. My face is actually turning red. So once I legitimately screamed at the TV. So I'm lucky I didn't have anything in throwing range. I would have whipped at the TV at that point.
I mean, why? Can I ask why? Why are you so mad? Because
I'm not even mad. It's not mad. It's just like they kept doing it, and then like I build in my head like, oh, okay, so it's the hunter exam's always forever. And we'll be here at episode 100. Oh, now the real hunter exam. But then here we are on episode 30, right? And they just legitimately pulled that again. That no, the hunter exam is truly still not over yet.
Right.
So it's the thing I built in my head a little bit as like a jokey joke or whatever. But then like legitimately here we are down the line, and they're still actually unironically doing it, right? So yeah, so we did that anyway. So Kurapika, like obviously distraught, and then so I did write down here. So Zushi's our baby Ryu. So I wrote down now Kurapika runs into woodsman / gun Ryu. Is another like Ryu alike.
Yes, he's got the sensei vibes a little bit. Also, the city that he's in, I'm like, I don't know why Kurapika came here. It looks like
it's like a bombed out apocalyptic ruin. Is that ever explained?
Maybe he's in. Wait, no, he's not. He's not in York.
Because it's
no, I don't think they explained it.
It's not run down. This is like full on Mad Max.
Right. It looks like shit.
Like buildings are like falling over on each other. Like the war happened, right? Like that's what that looks like, and it's just like. He's like, well, I'll show up here for work, I guess.
He literally went to the seediest place. Like, he couldn't have found work in a more normal area. He just went to the seediest place possible. But
yeah, but it's beyond seedy. It's like World War III happened here. Like, it's just, and I guess they don't explain that. I don't know, but like, but yeah. So Gun Ryu's kind of like, so you want to learn about Nen, huh? Oh, I guess I can teach you a thing or two. And then cut the credits, right?
Well, he steals Kurapika's license.
Yeah, he steals his hunter license.
Which, like, okay, were you originally coming here to steal his license, and then you changed his mind, and then he decided to, you know, teach Kurapika? Like,
it kind of took a little bit of pity on him a little bit, like, yeah, like you don't even know what's up, like.
Right, but if you're going to steal his license and get the fuck out, which,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, eventually it looks like, so everyone's getting there. Well, I guess we haven't seen Leorio at this point. So, does he show up later and then he's like, Nen? What? Like, I was doing my doctor thing. Like, everyone's getting their own crash course from like their masters. And I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But so then we go to the next episode, 31, and we're going to 32. Destiny and Tenacity. And so we open up immediately. Like they said, Gon 4 months. And he recovers in a month.
Right.
So I did mention here before he has the John Cena recovery because like that's famously like they once said John Cena was out for like a year, and then he showed up like a month later at the Royal Rumble.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was like a big moment, right? I was a profound John Cena hater at the moment, so I wasn't too pleased about that. But regardless, But then they go, this is now the next two episodes, 31, 32. Well, we'll still have Gon and crew, right? But now this is about Hisoka.
Right. It's kind of a deviation from the plot a little bit.
Yeah, because we're going to show, like, okay, so at least to my understanding, Hisoka is still, like, the end goal of the show. So let's show how strong he is, right? And they talk about his record. So he's 8-3, 6 knockouts. All knockouts are kills, because on the 200th floor, kills are allowed. And all 3 losses are forfeits. He just didn't show up to the fight.
Right, he literally didn't show up to pools, basically.
Yeah, exactly. He stayed up all night drinking with Daigo or something and couldn't make pools. And I can't remember exactly the number they said, but he's been hit only like 3 or 4 times ever during this. And 3 of those 4 were like all the same guy, who is, funnily enough, the guy we're going to see in these 2 episodes. But
right, Castro is his name.
Yeah, so basically, other than the fact that he might no-show the fight, he always wins. And he'll probably kill whoever he fights.
Yeah, it's just like kind of building him up as like, again, just this goal for Gon and party to look towards, essentially.
Yeah, and a nasty one, because you can't afford, because like every time, like say like Kurapika and Leorio up against him, right? It's like the looming threat of death is like a thing. Like he could kill them, he doesn't. But like if he felt like it, he really easily could have.
Oh yeah, no, but he doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't.
A fucking weirdo.
But I guess in Heaven's Arena, he doesn't like, because like he's already made it clear too. He's like, well, he's like Gon. He's like, he's putting him through his Goku arc so he can fight him later. And like he sort of likes Leorio and Kurapika because they challenge him, like not necessarily on a physical level, but like a moralistic, like a determination. Because like Kurapika's like, I can't beat you, but like if you force the issue, I will fight you, right?
Right.
Yeah. So he admires them, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the randoms in Heaven's Arena, which I guess he couldn't give a shit about, so he just kills them.
Pretty much. But yeah, Hisoka versus Castro.
Castro,
there's like a little bit of an interlude before that where like essentially Gon, he like the match, or Killua got tickets, I think, to see the match.
Yeah, he got like backstage tickets.
Yes, but then apparently that counts as like training or something like that. So you see like a little.
Oh yeah, Gon wasn't allowed to watch the fight.
Yes,
that
he
was
not allowed to watch the fight. But then later on, there's a shot where like you actually see like the match is on the TV or something like that. But Gon actually makes the decision to like turn off the TV so he can't see the match. Meanwhile, Killua is like, I don't fucking care. Like, I'm
that is a rule for you. It ain't a rule for me, right?
Right.
And he goes like he like abuses his backstage privileges with the tickets because like he goes like Castro's dressing room or whatever.
He was trying to sneak in, actually.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it, because he uses like his ninja art or shadow walk or whatever.
Yeah, I think he's like concealing his presence with Zetsu.
Yeah, and he gets clowned on because like he's like, okay, no one's gonna see, and like he looks through the door, and then the dude's just like behind him is like, hey, what's up, little man? And it's like, how did he get behind me? Like,
right, Killua thinks he knows everything, which like he is very talented, I'm sure, but like
yeah, that's the vibe I get.
They're on a different level.
He's definitely like on a different level than the average person. But we're entering like the era where like Killua has a very narrow view of what's possible. Mm-hmm. And like guys like Castro and Hisoka are just like beyond them. Like,
yeah, he's not as flexible in his thinking, right? And like if he thinks he should be able to beat you and he's not able to beat you, like with Zushi, he's like, what the hell is happening, right? He doesn't have the flexibility to think within the situation, whereas like we've seen Gon is clearly able to take an idea and he's a lot more creative and extravagant.
Yeah, Gon's a invent on the fly kind of guy.
He is.
But yeah, so we do that. Oh, and so Castro like one-ups Killua, like, you thought you were hot shit, actually you're just a dumb kid. And like, have fun watching the fight, kid. See you later, right? Like,
yeah, do they explain why he's like trying to sneak up on Castro? I don't remember.
I vaguely remember him like kind of thinking like what like Killua was doing, like he kind of thinks he's hot shit, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna get a vibe of like what's going on here, and then he just gets like big timed on, like.
Yeah, no, for sure. And also they mentioned that Castro like apparently like he's been here, he fought
Hisoka
before, and then he's been here for 2 years,
yeah,
and now like this is their grand rematch, and I'm like, bro, you've been here for 2 years, like you haven't done 10 matches in 2 years, Like, that's like 5 a year.
They say it like, God, it could be like 5 or 6 times. He keeps going, I'm not the same man I was 2 years ago. Like, yeah, I got it. Like, we got you. But to be fair, they get to the fight, and I'm proud of this here. They get to the early fight here, and Hisoka's all calling, like, it's like, like doing all that he does. And Castro clowns on him. Like, he actually just, like, messes him up. And they're like doing like the effectively, like, lack of a more elegant term, like it's like instant transmissioning on him. It's like whoosh, and then it's like dodge, but and he gets hit on the other side, and like Hisoka has like no actual idea like why he's even losing, because he's he's
trying to figure out. But this is the first time that like we ever see Hisoka like being challenged with a real threat. Right.
Yeah,
so I think it's interesting to see that, like, he can bleed, essentially.
Yeah, like, not only can he bleed, like, he's actively losing at this point. Right.
I think these next couple of episodes actually do a really good job at developing Hisoka's character, because, he's not just, like, a, one-faceted person. He also, like, he's also a human being. He can be hurt. He actually can have normal, I don't want to get too much into it, but he can actually have somewhat normal interactions with other human beings. So, I don't know. I like these next 2 episodes a lot. I think they're quite interesting.
Now, I do got here my hot take notes. This one's not too spicy of a take, but just, I noticed as he's starting to win, I wrote, okay, you're winning, but you're not in the fighting game. So I don't think you're winning this fight.
Yes.
So yes, Castro is not in the upcoming Nen Impact fighting game. Hisoka is. So that immediately, even though he's winning out of the gate, that casts some aspersions on my belief of him to win this fight.
Right. I mean, Wing and Zushi aren't in the game either, so...
To be fair, I don't know where they're going to go with those guys, but yeah, so eventually, Hisoka, like, he's still losing, but then it goes back to, and it's like, how about you take my hand, buddy, if you can? And the guy's like, okay, and he goes like, Wolf Fang Fist, and he like, not only takes the hand, it's like, you know what, but I'm going to take the other hand, because you can't even perceive how I'm attacking you yet, right? And he like, chops his effing arm off.
Yeah, they're not even trying to win points, they're just like, trying to kill each other at this point. They forget about the match, like, they're just trying to fuck each other up. And, I don't want to say necessarily to his credit, but Hisoka, like, barely flinches. It's like, oh, I guess I lost my hand. Oh, well. And, like, he catches his own hand, and then, like, he scratches his own back while holding his own, severed arm, right? Like, it's, like... it's kind of nuts. Literally, like, weak. Doesn't faze him. Yeah. It's like, in Resident Evil, like, 7 or whatever, like, the main dude just gets his arm chopped off. He's like, yeah, whatever, just puts the back fucking on. Ah, okay. It's crazy. And at this point... this is what we were alluding to earlier. They openly talk about Nen and use of Nen, and the crowd can hear them just fine, and the crowd talks about them at various points in the fight and their discussion, and Killua and Gon must be just dumb as hell. Because apparently everybody knows, and yes, I know, they have presented it as a not everyone knows thing. But here we are, and the arena has to hold at least 50,000 people. They present this arena as gigantic. Everyone can hear everything the fighters are saying. It is also televised. So I do not know. And granted, I'm putting more thought into this than they ever had. I understand that. I understand I'm walking myself into a wall as I talk. Because there's no actual answer to this. But just, they act like Nen's a secret. And yet, here we are on effectively WrestleMania. And Stone Cold's telling The Rock, hey, brother, about that Nen. Like... I mean, so... here's the thing. So when the sensei was yelling at Zushi on the stage, he was, like, screaming, right? But later on, we actually, in this particular match, we actually see that the commentators or whatever, they're like, oh, I don't know exactly what happened, but, you know... So, yes. So I feel like... they can't actually hear them. I gotta rewatch to make sure. But I feel discussing it, which is dumb. Like, okay, so like Killua and crew are definitely reacting to what they're saying, right? So maybe it's selective anime hearing,
But
well, and then Killua after the match, he says like there were a lot of things I didn't understand what was going on.
yeah, like they cannot understand what they're perceiving because it's not all explained. Like the magic of bungee gum, which is exposited on after the fight.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, maybe I'm just playing the
No, absolutely. Like you should.
Maybe they
and once again, I say this realizing there is no answer to this, and like I'm the kind of guy, you give an inch, I'll take a mile, right? And that's what the show's doing. It's like they're acting like this is secret, and like once again, if it was WrestleMania and Stone Cold's magic severed arms came around to like do shit to The Rock, like people would be asking questions, is all I'm saying, right?
I mean, that's fair. They are just openly discussing it, and maybe they can hear them, maybe they can't hear them, but like they don't give a shit about it being a secret either way.
No,
right?
Like at bare minimum, magic is happening.
Yes.
Okay, and actually, fair enough. So going now, that's the end of that episode. Episode 32. The bikers are outside. Oh, it's fun living in a biker meth town.
I can't hear them.
No, my noise gating is fantastic. Thumbs up on the video for good noise gating. You can't hear the loudest fuck bikers going by. But yeah, so episode 32, a surprising win. And there's something about a magic trick.
Right. Hisoka, he's not a clown, but he's also, or he is clown themed, but then he's also kind of magician themed, I guess, in this episode. So they're really leaning into this whole like illusion sort of vague theme that they've got going on with him. But from what I remember, basically, so
there's a card trick specifically to open up.
There is a card trick, which they do explain later on after the match. And I'm gonna be quite honest, I did not 100% follow what the explanation of this card trick is, but essentially what he does is he like says some sort of formula outside.
He does like the old comedian stand-up routine of like, no matter what card you actually pick because of this weird mathematical formula, it's always going to be like this specific number.
Yeah, it's always going to be 1. And then he pulls out the ace literally out of his arm.
Yeah, his severed arm. He pulls the card out of his severed arm.
Just casually.
Which is a good trick, admittedly.
Which is crazy. And then at some point, he also like is able to reattach his arm seemingly magically, seemingly like with no cut or wound or anything like that.
Yes, because during the fight, he's like, "Oh, well, you got my one arm, big boy. Well, here's the other. How come you don't got the other one?" And the guy just Wolfang fists, cuts off the other arm again, and then it's like, "Oh, you cut off both my arms, except I still have this arm." And it was like, "What?" But we saw that arm get cut off, and he's just like, "Well, I'm the Joker, baby. Like I got the magic arm, like."
Man, you love making that reference to that one.
That's all I'm ever gonna do. Like that's it's gonna be part of the show. So
it is a great little clip that I can never unsee for the rest of my life. But
sorry. Now this is the moment I wrote down here. This is where I do not know what the original Japanese language is. I don't care to know what the original Japanese language here is. During the English dub, at the moment when he pulls out the card, the English announcer starts screaming at the top of her lungs, "This is insane! This is the devil's magic!" And that's a good line read. Because they're literally like shrieking it. That he's like pulling off satanic magic in the ring. And I'm sure in the Japanese, like if you read the subtitle, it's just like, "Oh, what a crazy trick." Or just something uninspired. So I'm a big fan of them just screaming that this is satanic.
I mean, like, it is a crazy-ass trick. Like, especially if you didn't know how it worked. Like, when they actually get into how it works, you're like, oh, no, it's not magic.
They do like what's that movie? Ocean's 21 or whatever?
Ocean's 11?
Yeah, that's it. They do like a whole Ocean's like super turbo explaining everything after the fact, but
Yes, it's super detailed, and they again, I don't even remember exactly how that explanation goes, but there's a very technical reason as to like every single step that Hisoka did. Like I think he takes a card and he like throws it at Castro or something like
Yeah, he like
doing that. Yeah,
he gambits his ass basically. Yeah,
yeah, it's to like set up this whole trick that he's doing essentially, but. Anyways, they explain that afterwards. So right now we're still in the middle of the fight where they're
and at this point, like even though technically he lost both arms, but magically somehow got another arm back, right?
He's chill. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, but this is the part where he's like, like doing his little thing there, and it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of got you figured out now. Like the match is over. Like the match isn't over yet, but the match is over. Because like
he was basically baiting him out to show all of his cards.
Yeah, because like the dude, the whole reason dude could even, I guess we got to step ahead of ourselves. Like he could keep doing like looking like he's gonna hit him one way and then hit him the other, is because he effectively has a clone technique. He has a doppelganger technique, right? Exactly. And then Hisoka is like, okay, here's the thing, your clone is too perfect. Because even though at the start of a fight, it's literally a perfect doppelganger, the problem is it remains a perfect doppelganger. So it's still pristine. We've been fighting for a while. You know, it doesn't have your cuts and scratches and getting roughed up. So I can tell which one is which. And he has another reason he can tell which one is which too. But and that's kind of like leads to like effectively leads to like the end of the fight. Because then Hisoka's in his head. Because then, like, Hisoka can tell which one's the clone, which one's not now, right? And then he can keep dodging everything. He doesn't get got. And they don't use it in so many words, but Hisoka uses a kind of a fighting game term now. It's effectively talking about his mental stack, right? Yes. And it's like your mental stack's been overwhelmed, and, like, now you can't win.
Right. He's figured it out, basically. He's figured out his tell or whatever. Like maybe he's like scratching his head right before he does a move. Like he's gotten figured out that he's not actually Castro. He's not able to use his Nen to defend himself when he's making the doubles. Like he needs to have perfect concentration essentially to maintain these doubles, right? And so as soon as that concentration is broken, he's not able to make his doubles, and because he's using his Nen, then he can't defend himself like from other Nen attacks. So essentially he just gets destroyed. Yeah,
so it's a great offensive technique but a bad defensive technique.
Yes, which I don't know why he didn't think about this in the whole 2 years that he was working on this technique to defeat Hisoka, but
that's the thing is,
what
you know, I go to Street Fighter, I play ranked every day. Okay, good. Mm-hmm. But I play on my Smurf account and only fight, like, silvers. No, then you're not learning anything, right? Like,
right, exactly.
So if that's how he spent his 2 years fighting silvers, then it's still not going to be good when, like, you know, Hisoka's got, like, 2,000 MR and, like, he ain't clowning around. See, that wasn't even, I didn't even think about that. That just worked out that way.
Yeah, he's serious. He's actually like, he doesn't act serious in the match. He acts very lighthearted, like, oh, I've got it figured out, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But then, you know, later on you actually see, like, he was very, well, I guess we're kind of hopping to the next part.
Yeah, so
he was very methodical about how you went about things, which is very interesting to see.
Yeah, so we do go in there, so the fight ends and he wins, right? I don't think he killed them outright, though, if I recall.
No, he puts like cards in them essentially, and they're attached to like his Nen strings or whatever. But
something like that, yeah. So then we go backstage with Hisoka, and then we meet someone new. And my initial hot take thought is she's in the game, and so she is in Nen Impact. So I'm like, okay, I know you're a big deal.
She's in the DLC, right? I think. Is she in the base roster?
We shouldn't talk about the leaks.
Never mind. Don't worry about it.
I'm not even going to edit that. I'm not going to even edit that out. You can look it for yourself. But okay, she's in the game.
Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good. All good. And she's base roster, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But there is leaks out there. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm like, she's in the game. I knew immediately she's a big deal, right?
Okay. Yes.
And then turns out, even though Hisoka played it all cool, the fight was a bit closer than he might have let on, right? Because, like, he legitimately did lose both of his arms.
Right. He just acted like he didn't care that his arms got chopped off, but they were like legitimately chopped off.
What's the saying? Perception is reality. Fake it till you make it, right?
Right. He's the definition of that.
So, and then we learn he has a certain power called bungee gum. And so,
famous bungee gum.
I believe this is the first time this is like officially brought up. And bungee gum has both the power of bungee and gum. So when his arms are like legitimately like chopped off, he bungee gummed his arms back onto his stumps, basically.
Right.
Which
and basically it made it look like because he can change the texture of it, right? So it's like
that's another power he mentioned that he has like he can like, for lack of a more elegant term, he can like skin graft stuff on. So even though this lady is the actual medic, Hisoka would actually be an amazing battlefield medic. Like, dealing with, like, war injuries on the battlefield. Because he can just put stuff together on the spot and go, right?
Well, I think, like, it's more so, like, it's just an illusion. So it's not actually, like...
It was enough to hold the arm, like, without it falling to the ground.
Yeah. It's enough to do a very temporary job of, you know, patching it up. But, like, obviously you need to actually get someone to go in. So we basically meet this new member who's able to use her. She's like a power where she uses Nen strings, I guess.
Yeah, and she Nen stitches. Because regular stitches aren't good enough. Although they go into some details, like, because like this versus like regular stitches, like obviously stitching your arm back on. Okay, you know what? I'm not a doctor, so maybe it worked. I don't know. I'm assuming that doesn't work to a degree. Like, I know you can, like, stitch a finger back on. I don't know how it works on the ground. But hers, like, rebuilds, like, the neural pathways, blood vessels. Like, it's, like, actual restoration, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, right? Because I'm not a doctor. But, like, I know that in a lot of surgeries and stuff, like, you can actually lose sensation in a lot of your nerves and things like that. So, I'm assuming that's not really super
Okay, so officially, going with the wind, neither of us are doctors.
Yes, no, I have no degree. Right. Do not come after me.
Right, so maybe by the end, one of us will have a degree. I guess we'll find that out. But basically, the whole time she's doing like the whole stitching up thing, then they're like, then they're doing the Ocean's 11, like, here's how it really went down, right?
Right.
And so the first army lost, and I thought this strained credulity to a moment, not so much for the fight, but for the arena. So he threw up the arm. And then he bungee gummed the arm to the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And that's not a problem in the context of Castro didn't see that in the fight. But they show the arena many times, and the seats go very high up, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like at least the cheap seats would just be a floating disembodied arm, like, hanging around the top of the arena, right? Like,
they'd be like, what the hell is that? You know, someone would comment on it for sure.
But yeah, and also, I forget the term they use, but they can, like, Nen tracking dart certain objects. Mm-hmm. So they can, like, tether you with Nen, and you need to have special eyes to see it.
Yes.
So if you're not using your special eyes, you can't actively see it. And it's one of the reasons why he could discern which one was which against Castro, like the doppelganger versus the original, right?
Right, because he was seeing with his special eyes or whatever it
is. They have a specific name for it. I do not recall it, sadly.
God, what was it? So Zetsu is when they concealed their presence. I'm looking at my notes. What the hell? Let me see.
There's Nen, Tan, Ren, Zetsu, Hatsu.
And yeah. Okay, Hatsu is like your personal expression of Nen. Like, you know, like, so Hisoka, it's his bungee powers specifically. Ren is like projection of your aura, I guess, or like producing of your aura. 10 is maintaining your aura, and then Zetsu is kind of like concealing your presence or like closing your nodes. So I don't know what the eye power is actually. Maybe I should
they just definitively they have the power. In the next couple episodes, it'll be brought up again as well. I do not recall the name of the power, I'm sorry, but it's basically like if you aren't actively looking for it, they will always get away with it.
Right.
And they can kind of just track anything.
Right. They explained how Castro was using all of his power to make these clones.
So he wouldn't even have the spare energy to like look for it.
Exactly.
And
winning the fight.
Yeah. And so basically between like the various bungee gum tricks, like hiding the fake arm, reattaching his limb to make it look like he never lost it, and then also like using his like aura, power, perception, like track which one's which, is like, well, that's how it all really happened. And you wouldn't know unless you were me, basically.
Exactly. So I really like this moment, this explanation, this whole scene for a couple of different reasons. So one, you learn just a little bit about Hisoka and like his like past a little bit, because he talks about how like he named bungee gum based off of this.
Yeah, because he loves gum.
Chewing gum as a child. Yeah. So you learn just a little bit of tidbit about.
We can all identify with that. Everyone loves some gum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Everyone had like a favorite childhood candy or gum growing up.
Yeah.
So you learn just a little bit about him, and that he's not like a total, like he wasn't like this, I guess, or maybe he had this personality from the very start, but you know, he's actually human, right? He has some things that are relatable about him.
He's not just a he's not just, even though I guess by definition he is, at least at this point, but he's not just a cartoon villain.
Right. He has some depth to him. You also learn that like he can have somewhat normal interactions.
Yeah, they're just shooting the shit. Like, you know, they're just having like the last time we saw Killua talking to like anyone outside of the Gon Zoo crew, he's like threatening Killua's brother, right? He's like, "Don't you dare touch my boy!" And like,
yeah, basically this whole time Hisoka's been just like this, very much like he's either like all the way up here, or he's like in feral instinct mode all the way down.
He doesn't know how to turn off, right? Like,
exactly.
He's always on for the camera. And here, with this lady, and I didn't catch her name at this point, I'm sorry. But
well, they haven't said it yet, but it's Machi.
Yeah, but they're just like, yeah, oh yeah, this, yeah, okay. It's like, what are you doing later? Okay, yeah. Catch you here?
Yeah. You want to go? He asked her out for dinner too,
yeah,
which I thought was like kind of fun.
Yeah, he's doing the wartime medic falls in love with me thing, you know, like while you're stitching me up, and it's like, and then he's like hitting on her a little bit, which, you know, it works in the movies, but I guess it didn't work so good here. But
no, she probably knows him way too well to just be like,
yes, as we'll get into, there's a reason she might know him, because it's clear she does know him. And to interject, I don't know where it is exactly in this scene, but they cut back to Killua and crew watching the fight, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And because I got here my hot take notes, Killua says this was a boring match, and I have her in here. Actually, you idiot, this is the most exciting match of all time.
Right.
Because, like, where else are you gonna fight this guy? Arms and shit are flying off. He's reattaching his arms. He's pulling cards out of his arms and shit. Guy has like doppelganger stuff, and like, how would you not be blown away? And he's like, this is boring. Like,
again, showing Killua doesn't, like, what he doesn't understand, you know, like he's just like, whatever.
And I know, but even if you don't understand, there's still like, guy is still doing clones. Arms are flying everywhere. Like, this is like a Mortal Kombat fight in real life, as far as the audience is concerned, right? Like, I don't know how you're not at least, you're not like, you're a little too jaded.
Yeah.
He's like there swirling his goblet. I guess the commoners had a good bout. Like,
he's acting cool. And sorry, what I was gonna say, why I did this little thing is like he could use his like special Nen eyes or whatever they're called.
But he would. I guess at this point he didn't know. You need to know that you need to know to look for it, right?
Well, he should know, right? Because he knows Hisoka has Nen. His brother has Nen.
Yeah, but I think it's like the literal next episode where Sis brought it up. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. I haven't rewatched up to that episode yet.
So yeah, like I'm a couple episodes back, but like, it is brought up. It's like you have to actively think about it. That's how. If you're not actively thinking about it, you get away with it.
I see. Interesting. But
yeah, Killua's just kind of like, well, you know what? If it's not assassins, it's actually all bullshit. Like it's, only assassins are cool. Like everything else kind of BS. I don't care. Like
Killua stocks are going down. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, no, it's just objectively, if you're watching a man split in two, at bare minimum, in a fight, I'd be a little impressed. You know, like.
No, I mean, I agree. I'd be like, this is the world's greatest magic.
Yeah.
Bro just got his arm cut off.
Or at the very least, pulling magic cards out of your severed arms and shit, right? Like,
right. Yeah, that would be very crazy to see for sure. But yeah, I think it just like this whole scene is interesting because it's like it shows how Hisoka is able to be he's able to be calculating and not just like power his way through situations or go totally feral. So I really like this.
Yeah,
episode.
because that's all we've seen is like either him being vaguely threatening or him having I think I called it like clowngasm mode or whatever. Like, and then he's just like goes feral, right? Like there's been no like Hisoka the man, and this is like your Hisoka the man scene,
right? So, well, what do you think of Hisoka so far? Hisoka stocks up.
So far, yeah, like Hisoka is as the show's going on becoming more of a compelling character.
Right. Yes, he's fleshing out. He's fleshing out a little bit.
And then I guess to end the episode, Hisoka's like having a shower or whatever, and then the big reveal because he has the Phantom Troop spider on his back, right? And it's like, what? And then it recontextualizes, 14 was it? He had like a number. 4? 14?
It's 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so the number on the back, I won't get into it.
Yeah. And then it recontextualizes a lot of things, right? Because he had that moment with Kurapika where he's like, blah, 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 and he's like whispering something to him. And then it like recontextualized, he himself is a member of the Phantom Troop. So it's like, oh, okay. So like, he must have like said some stuff about some stuff besides go to York New City, right?
He knew, basically.
But then it's like double reverse Kaiser Soze situation. Because then it's like grand reveal, he's got the tattoo of the Phantom Troop, but then it's like, oh, but it's this weird skin graft thing, and he can just take it off whenever he wants, so he doesn't actually have the Phantom Troop tattoo? Or... Because then I'm like, oh, big moment. But then I'm like, wait, what? Like, but if that's not real, then who would ever know but him? Right? And then I'm actually kind of left confused.
Is he a member? Is he not a member?
But it's not like he's brandishing the tattoo anyway. It's not like he's fighting bare shirt or whatever, right? No one would ever know, actually. So it left me confused because it's just big moment, like profound reveal, and then immediately walking it back as soon as it happened.
Yeah, that is interesting, actually. It's kind of undercutting it, because they definitely could have showed maybe in a future scene or something him taking it off where it would...
Yeah, you could have saved that for, like, I do not know where they're going with this, right? But you could have saved that for, like, even the next episode. But it's just, you put something potentially revelatory in my face, only to immediately go, oh, maybe not, maybe we'll find out, you know, like...
Oh, TBD. I think you won't find out more about that for a little while.
Yeah. And, but yeah, so that's like, we're still in the Heaven's Arena arc, but that's sort of like, they get introduced, Gon is learning, they learn about Nen, they see where Hisoka's at, the plan is still to fight Hisoka, and at least in the next 2 episodes, we're still at Heaven's Arena, so, and that's kind of where we're at. So that was episode 32, so, next episodes later, we'll be starting with 33 to... something. Wow, we'll figure it out when we get there. Yeah, trust me, folks. We do not plan too far ahead on this.
No, I literally asked him yesterday. I was like, "Yo, what episode do I watch up to?" And then 100% full disclosure, I literally just sat down and I binged like whatever 10 episodes, however many we covered this episode, because I didn't watch Hunter x Hunter in almost a week.
Yeah, like I'm ahead, and I always try to stay ahead. But there will probably be the one episode, probably around Evo, I bet, because we're both going to be so busy. Where like I'm just like, okay, no, we're just going to spend a whole day because like I'm going to watch it like 2 hours before we go to air. Like,
yeah, you know, honestly, like I feel like I should have watched the show further ahead just to refresh my memory, because there is a lot I do remember based on the show. But there's also, because I haven't watched the anime in maybe a few years, there's a lot that I'm just like, oh shit, I forgot this happened.
Well, you always remember the highlights, right? Like, it's a little minutia. But yeah, so for that, I guess actually fair warning, around Evo time, there might be a time where like an episode is delayed by a week or something. Because like, we're both going to Evo to have fun, but we're also both going to work, right? So... like, oh, it's going to be a busy week. Like, we might film an episode there. I don't know. But that's August, so that's in the future. But fair warning.
Right, we'll figure it out.
But that's going to be a busy time. Fair to say, if you're at Evo, do not be afraid to flag me down, say hi. Because, like, You see me walking the show floor, I'm always going to one appointment or another. And, like, I will only be in work mode unless you flag me down. Don't wait for me to be somewhere, because I might not. Actually stop me.
He's very distinctive, too. You can't miss him.
Yeah, that's the benefit. I ain't a Sajam. You know, like, that's the meme. Everyone looks like Sajam. I definitively do not look like Sajam, right? So, yes. It also helps that I'm also probably going to be the tallest guy in any part of the show floor. I have a more distinctive look than most people, so it will not be difficult to find me.
The Hawaiian shirts is definitely a look.
Yeah, and hey, these are cheaper than regular t-shirts on Amazon. Like, this shirt's like $17 on Amazon. A plain white tee can be like $20 Canadian. This is actually cheaper. So,
well, like, is it synthetic or is it cotton? Like, because that could be one of the reasons why.
I'm sure before you click add to cart, it probably tells you. I don't read that stuff. I just click add to cart and go.
Well, if it's cheap, it's probably synthetic.
It is as cheap as it gets, baby. Like, this is there ain't none cheaper than this.
What I will say about clothes in Japan, so I got the shirt in Japan. I forget the exact brand, but they did a lot of like anime. They do a lot of anime inspired shirts. Clothing in Japan is so freaking expensive.
Oh, I don't know that.
I think everything's made out of like cotton and stuff like that, or like, I don't know, clothing's more of a luxury down there. But it's like you go to these stores and you try to buy clothes, and it's like at least $40 to $50 for like a t-shirt or something like that.
Oh, especially sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, you try to buy something cool. Oh, my God, I went into, like, the Gundam store once, and they're, like, these really dope pair of jeans. And I was like, oh, man, these are sick. I wonder how much. It's $800 USD.
That's it. Anything that could get the tourists, right? Like, I've seen pictures, like, it's like some game shop or whatever, right? It sells Neo Geo games. But it's in, like, proper Shibuya tourist trap area. And if you walk 15 minutes one direction, they'll be selling the same Neo Geo carts, like, you know, Mark of the Wolves or whatever, for like half as much, or if not less, right? Because they know foreigners will walk through for like, they gotta get their precious Japanese animes and their games and stuff. They know you will pay whatever it says, because you don't know any better, right?
Well, that makes sense to me, but like some of these shirts and stuff like that, I'm like, this isn't even okay. I did get the shirt in a touristy area, but like, it's not like this is a. I don't know.
Anything with nerdy stuff, like Street Fighter's really good for putting out clothing lines all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes, even though it hurts, I'll splurge on like a Canadian. They put out a hockey jersey for Honda, right? I'm Canadian. Even though I don't watch hockey as much anymore, it was still a big part of my life when I was younger, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, a Honda hockey jersey, fuck it, let's go. How much does it cost? Oh, $200, fuck. But you know what? I still did it. Because, like, who else has a Honda hockey jersey, right?
I mean, that's fair.
But then, okay, then I saw they're putting out, like, cardigans for some new thing they're doing, right? And they have a T-Hawk cardigan, and they want another $200. And, like, a cardigan's just a like, a jersey's at least a jersey. Like, legitimately, anywhere in Canada, you can wear a hockey jersey. Doesn't matter what time of year, doesn't matter the occasion. No one will bat an eye.
Really?
You can wear, like, even it doesn't have to be like just Canadians or Leafs. It can be a Bruin, okay, Bruins is an American team, but it's still a Canadian. Like, if you're original 6 team, no one will judge you, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so like legitimately, I can go anywhere in Canada, wear a hockey jersey any time of year, wherever. No one will blink an eye at all.
Well, what if it's for like a rival team and you're in like the city of the rival team?
It depends, because like if you go in Toronto and you're like wearing like any other team, it's not the Leafs. Like, half the people is like, yeah, Leafs suck. And it's funny, too, because, like, Leafs is literally, like, the single most profitable team in the leagues ever. It is, by far, makes more money than anyone else in hockey, right? And they can't win anything to save their fucking life. But it doesn't matter. Like, at a certain point, does winning matter anymore if you make the most money? Because you would think the team that wins the most makes the most money. Not in hockey. Right. Because Toronto is just, go Leafs, go Leafs, go, and that's all it has to be.
Interesting. It's kind of like in America, you can wear a baseball like shirt anywhere, pretty much.
Or, like, and jersey or something. When I say this, please understand, I come from a rural family. This is family member had a wedding, right? And at a rural location for the wedding, we were specifically told, don't dress up fancy, because my specific family member is not that kind of person, right? There was a person who wore a hockey jersey to the wedding. And it's like, okay, whatever. Like, specifically, a lot of us wore plaid shirts, to be like the extra, rural redneck kind of thing, right? So,
a nice plaid shirt,
Yeah. So, your fine wedding jersey, right? No, thankfully, I'm not the guy I didn't wear the fucking Honda jersey to my cousin's wedding, okay? I'm not that far gone. I'm not that far gone. Yet. There'll be the day, I'm sure.
I see that my statue right there. Just her ass, just the side.
That one was a gift. Admittedly, this one specifically, that one was a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
The other ones, though, the other one is man. You can get all these. Like, I see them. Like, I look online. Like, who's going to spend $100 on the statue? Don't get them on AliExpress. They sell these like $100 statues for like $15. Like, all the rest of these are like $15, 15, 20, $30 at most.
Quality good though?
It stands. Like, I put them on the shelf and I forget about it, right? So, like,
interesting. I don't think
I'm sure they're knockoffs. I'm not here to grade them or whatever, right? But
no, that's fair. There's this one Kazuya Tekken Tag 2, I want to say, knockoff that I got. I think it's a Play Arts knockoff, which is a Square Enix brand. No. It's whatever the Bandai Namco brand is. I'm forgetting, but they did the line of Kazuya, and I bought the real one and I compared it to the fake one for like one of the videos I did. My God, I accidentally snapped off the fake Kazuya's arm because I didn't realize that he couldn't like. The real Kazuya, like, he can actually kind of flex a little bit.
Articulate.
Like, he can articulate, right? But then the fake one, it's like, nope. It just, like, went like this, and then it just, like, broke off immediately. Shit.
Marketing degree, right? That's realistic battle damage. Right?
A whole ass arm.
Exactly.
Whole ass arm gone.
Hey, I don't know if you saw the recent video. I talked about time killers, like chopping off arms and legs and stuff, right? So there you go.
I did not.
No.
Oh man, that's. I mean, maybe he can, because you can reattach it with.
Well, then here, this is what I'll say. This is my shill. So if you want all these kind of things for pennies on the dollar, just don't pose them, but go to AliExpress and you'll get them for pennies on the dollar. Just don't try to articulate them, because I don't think it'll work out so good.
They will break, even if they're supposedly able to be articulated. They're not.
And I only did that one too because like I had like the little Mai area here because I just built that up over years. And then I had like one or two Chun-Li's. And then like, well, shit, like I need to have like Chun-Li versus Mai facing off.
I have the two gal reps.
And I got like a little Ryu and a little Chun-Li there.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
They're like kind of chibi-ish.
They're a little plushy. That's actually the same one. They fold out and they fold inside out.
Oh, okay. Okay, they're like, you can fold them inside and out.
So like inside is Ryu, outside is Chun. But I bought two of them so I can have both.
Oh, they're reversible.
And then
like
a
little Chun-Li shrine.
That's like the Sasquatch area. And this is also a Sasquatch area because there's Harry and the Hendersons right behind that Mai. It's very small.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And my chair's in the way. There's a proboscis monkey beside the Mai.
My
and then there's like a little Terry Bogard and Potemkin and like that's my little nerd shrine.
My stuff, my crap is all on this side.
That's why I built it this way specifically to face the camera.
I have a couple of them behind here that I change out for every video. Which I have Skullomania back there, which I did Skullomania costumes.
Yeah, I saw you had some Skullomania news.
Yes, well, I don't know about news, but I had a cosplay of Skullomania that I was wearing at CEO, which surprisingly it wasn't horrible to walk around in. Like I could see and I could speak to other people, but it was just I was getting really overheated in that outfit. I can imagine, reason. But I was like, I spent an hour and then I was like, I gotta get out.
I always remember the first ever fan expo I was ever at. I saw a dude like, he's wearing the Darth Vader thing as he would do in Fan Expo.
Yeah, the helmet.
And he's just like doing his thing, like he's off. He's not on right now. He just took off the helmet and he was just drenching buckets. Like, it must be like a sauna in there. But there you go. See, that's how Lord BR gets by. Skullomania, no one knows it's going to be you, right?
Okay, wait. Where is this Lord coming from?
Oh, that's a fighting game affectionate term. Combination of, I think I half stole it from Eris, half stole it from Idle Thumbs podcast. I just call people Lord. It's easier than like figuring out any title. It's a good title to have.
I mean, listen, I'm not opposed to being called Lord. I would rather be called Lord BR than Lady BR. You know, that's just me though.
Yeah, that works. But I was about to say because he pulled the Jamie Lee Curtis. Do you?
That's fair.
I guess that's whole close. Do you know that story?
No, but I
Oh.
know who she is.
Yeah.
I know
Oh
who
yeah.
she is.
She's world famous mega star,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So here, this is what we'll end up on. He's also a fighting game fan.
Yes, I think I met her daughter once, perhaps.
And here she is at Evo cosplaying as Vega.
Oh man, that's awesome. Okay, I did know about her being a fighting game fan,
Yeah.
actually, but
But when you're wearing a mask, ain't nobody gonna know who you are, right?
that's true. You could be Lord Lee Curtis.
Yeah. So, like Jamie Lee Curtis, like, okay. So Evo's weird because like you would probably actually get stopped more for cosplaying as Vega than like just being Jamie Lee Curtis at Evo specifically.
Probably.
But it's a pretty good way to hide who you are.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah, I was running around as Skullomania and no one knew who I was. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
Also, you know what? Oh god, is that the can? Oh god, that's Mr. Wizard. Oh god.
Oh, okay. We won't talk about it.
Well, you know, we got one of the Canon Bros here, so there's a positive to be had.
The original.
I was about to say because I do appreciate the DJ cosplay.
Yeah, with the Rastafari colors. That's cool.
Like, he's a little off-brand, I guess, but the heart's there. Is what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that's any of his official outfits or anything like that.
Yeah,
but-
they had the one Street Fighter 4 outfit a little bit like that, but yeah. So you know, by the end of this podcast, you're gonna have to cosplay a Skullomania every event because everyone's just gonna pull you down, right?
I'm gonna die. What I will say though is like I thought so that outfit, right? It's very form fitting, but like I'm not particularly like a super curvy individual or anything like that. Like I'm skinny, all right,
Yeah.
I'm skinny, but when I was actually gonna wear that outfit for Evo last year, but what I didn't realize is that you can literally see like all the undergarments and stuff like that
geez.
while you're wearing it. So I had to make sure that like this time when I was actually wearing it, that like I put a base layer underneath so you couldn't see any of that. And then I was thinking like, oh, should I be like Skullomania or should I be like the gender swap version of Skullomania?
Yes, there is a lady
So, like,
Skullomania. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lady Skullomania in like SNK Herons.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, I'll just go as like base Skullomania, like dude Skullomania. But I didn't realize like actually until I took some of the photos, which I can show it, but I don't know if it'll show on camera. But like you can actually see like, you know, I'm kind of curvy, you know? Like I don't know if you can see that, but like
Make sure you post them on Twitter. People can check them on Twitter.
it is on Twitter. But
Okay.
like you can actually see like, you know, I'm not a dude, you know? I don't know why I thought like I would look like a dude in this outfit, but I just thought like no one would be able to tell I was a woman, but people were actually like, you know, like
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, miss,
Well,
can I get
I would say
your
this,
picture?" And I'm like,
Skullomania
"Oh, you."
is not about gender, but Skullomania is about justice.
Right, Skullomania is
Yeah.
in all of us. We could all be
Exactly.
Skullomania.
So there you go. Like all genders, all races, all peoples, all creeds can fly under the Skullomania flag.
What a way to end the podcast.
There you go. That's how we'll end it. So for now, for myself, the Rooflemonger,
And Babe Ruthless.
that is it for this episode of Going with the Wind, and we'll be back in a week-ish. We're no set schedule here, but we'll be back next time, and thank you very much for watching.
See ya.